Morning, team. How's it going? Hopefully you're good, team. I'm going to do my best to be here again as long as possible today. But yeah, please be patient. I've barely slept, sweating buckets, whatever this virus is, it is kicking my ass right now. So I've got Lemsip in hand, and we'll just see how we go today, folks. Okay, as always, starting off on the daily, you can see we're going to open up inside. All right, we're going to open up inside bar. There's yesterday's high, there's previous day low, and in the New York session, the low was somewhere around here. We'll go into it. So we're inside New York, and we're definitely inside the bar. All right, so we're expecting that we're going to be choppy. All right, which means we need to think about the ranges that we've created, which is basically right in here, and we're going to be looking at the edges of those ranges. So you really need to be considering failed breakouts versus breakouts, right? Failed breakouts to trade the edge back in, failed breakouts to trade the edge back in, or breakouts if we stay heavy and maybe fill some of these imbalances down here into these singles, or breakouts upside if they want to come and retest all the way up here. News that we just had, and news overnight, not really very good, if I'm honest. You've got Pakistan coming out last night and this morning saying that Lebanon absolutely was included in the ceasefire deal, and that America is lying about that, and that they need to put an end to basically what Israel's doing, and they've got America coming out saying the opposite. So more of this wishy-washy kind of action where we don't really know what the narrative is. But the more unsettling it is, the more risk off we're going to go, because remember, this is a risk on move for a ceasefire. If the ceasefire finishes, we can reprice right back to where we started before that risk on move. On top of that, all the prints that just came out at 8:30, well, all they show is the slowdown, which is exactly what we've expected. All right, so beyond the war headlines, which we've had, the macro environment, like I've talked about, has not been good. All right, so we started fading all of this. All right, nothing to do with war. This is nothing to do with war. This is because of the macro environment. This is much more to do with war. But all of this, all right, this was macro environment, not many jobs, inflation ticking up, yada, 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 yada. Okay, so that's where we're at. Moving to the hourlies. Pull this up a bit so you can see. All right, still basing out. You can see in this current week developing range, we are basing out in this range that we've created. All right, so you can see how thin we are. We talked about this gray box here. Why? Because it's an old point of control. All right, this double point of control node. All right, we came down and tested it yesterday. Those in Discord would have traded it with me. We caught this move back up, which is what I was looking for yesterday. I think it was that one. What time was it? Yeah, it was that one. And some of them took exactly the same move on the range trade back up at the end of day. So there were some nice trades there if you were patient yesterday. And it came right into that level, eventually came right into those 920s, which was the gamma level. Where has my gamma gone? There we go. All right, you can see we're pretty pinned in here. So the edge of rotation is basically previous day value area high, previous day value area low, and then you've got this sort of gamma shelf into 911s. All right, that's your rotation. All right, high volume node here, which is basically lines right up with previous day point of control. So we expect rotation within this. We are getting tight in here. You're talking from like 120, talking about 100, 120 point range there, folks. All right, so be very careful. You don't want to be entering the midpoint of this. All you need to be careful of today, like I said, is breakout versus fail breakout. So if we come to this underside, all right, and we do a little poke and recovery, all right, that's probably a long trigger back up to the midpoint, and then see if we get to the other side of the range. If we come under here, all right, if we reject early morning, come under here, stay heavy, there's a chance for this move down to this put wall. If they let go of it, you can see here are all the single prints. All right, there's a chance under 830s for that drift down to 600s and maybe all the way down to 400s. There's a chance, all right, especially if the news becomes very negative. Otherwise, I'd be very conscious about that sort of look below fail recovery kind of play, all right, around here, or even just a little sweep of these. Same story for the upside, all right, exactly the same story for the upside. If we start printing above point of control, right, if they poke above value area high and fail, we're going to come back into the range. If they bid over value area high, then they're going to try and get back up to previous day high, and you'd be thinking about that same thing there. We only really get very bullish if we start really recovering all of that for a squeeze. But right now, all right, we are in one of these. We are rotating in here, And I'd be very, very cognizant of fail breaks, because I know we built out this range yesterday, but we can still have another day, maybe expanding this range. Maybe something like this starts to happen. We start to expand this range a little bit until we get some like more definitive news. Okay, so that's what I'll be watching. I'll be watching the edges today to see how we act. Let's move up into the other time frames. Oh gosh. Sorry, folks. All right, by the way, overnight, this is our overnight volume. I just put it on to see where we are. Nothing's really changed. All right, you could mark out this Globex low, 950s, but I just wanted to see if there was any different nodes. The nodes are exactly the same place. Previous day point of control, and sort of just above previous day value area low. All right, 25,000. We know 25,000 is a big level, so nothing's changed from this overnight. So we can remove that if you want. All right, ES, same story. Okay, starting to find a little bit of a bid, but we're into this thick area that we were in yesterday. So if we look at yesterday, it's exactly the same, folks. All right, so we go from 930. All right, we're just coming right back into value. So they're finding dips on these cool walls. All right, and we've come right back into value. It really depends this morning if they're going to reject 815. If they get through 815, close the gap, and then maybe they reject that edge, like look above and fail, look below and fail. I'll see if we have downside pressure. I'd want to see this either react to point of control up here and a big swipe. All right, I'd want to see real strong buyers get caught there and strong momentum come in on ES. So I'll be watching that as well. All right, we look at the ETFs here. Let's start on the spiders. You can see pinned in. Here's your wedge, like we talked about. All right, we're pinned in. High volume node just above. We're in neutral space, neutral territory right now. The big put wall down here yet to be retested at that 670s. If we start basing above here, it's the same kind of look. Like, do we look above and fail? If they get this big squeeze on, you can see this is the open interest right now is 680. So 680, 670, you've got 10-point range there either side, and we're slap bang in the middle of it. All right, so it really depends. Like, I want to be very, very aware of the edges. It's exactly the same trade. I don't really want to be entering here. I'd much rather see bulls get trapped in a wash, and then we can think about bidding that back up if sellers get caught down here. If they stay heavy, then we just see how far we can get those runners down. But yeah, I don't think there's a lot of edge in this market this morning, not right now, but it will change very, very quickly, I'm sure, at the open once we can see the direction. Same story on the Qs, you can see it just resting around this high volume node. Right, this is your big level right now. Pops above that fail, turn back inside, pops above that hold, they'll look to take out these 10s. All right, we do have levels above, all right, into these old walls, but unless we see positive data, I struggle to see how the market's going to move up there. All right, I think much more likely we see something like this build out. And that's 600. Remember, this 600 was the same on the way down. This is the huge, huge level, the 600. What I would say, which is important, is maybe we didn't go over it, is we have gapped above the 50-day. If I just take you back, the 50-day and the 200-day. All right, so we've only done this 3 times in history in one move. And if you're a statistician, you'll know that the next like a couple of weeks, we then give back 10%. All right, so this looks very similar to last few times we've done mega breakdowns. We have this squeeze out, negative news comes, and we can continue to drop. So I'm not saying that happens this time, but we have to be aware that we're right in this 50-day, 20-day, which have crossed. So this area here, this pocket here, is very, very sensitive. Forgot to mention that at the beginning. All right, let's have a quick look at the MAG and the VIX. All right, VIX underneath this channel for the first time in a long time. There we go, starting to break down, testing these big walls here into 20s. This can flip now. All right, into these 20s. All the time we hold 20s. All right, they're going to look to test the same level as yesterday's 22.5 and maybe fill the gap. So there's 22.5 where we've broken down from and these sort of 23s, 24s becomes important. If it starts letting go of 20s and we come back into the teens, the market will be very, very bullish. All right, so you can set price alerts at 20s, 22.5s, and sort of maybe this edge here, 23.50. Right, that's what I'd be watching, those three levels for sentiment. If we rotate, then we rotate. If we let go, very bullish. If we pump and reclaim, very bearish. All right, so that's what I'd be watching. Apple did a good job of holding that key level yesterday that we talked about. All right, holding it well. There's a look below, reclaim. All right, inverted head and shoulders. Can it get going for this move up to 65? So far, a good job. If it starts letting go of this, though, all right, that's where you need to be careful. Underneath 56s, you get that rollover back to 52s and 50s. But so far, okay. Gapping down slightly this morning, but so far holding okay. Amazon, that's a big gap up this morning. Must have had news. Let's have a look. Must have missed that. Are you going to tell me what the news is? No? Hello? Hello, TradingView. Okay, we can look that up afterwards. Definitely had news, though. So gapping up. All right, you just need it to hold pullbacks into this shelf. 222s, basically. You'd want Amazon to hold pullbacks. Looks good. Looks good. Goog. Building out just like the Qs are. All right, so that is a huge move on Google. I'd be very conscious. Where is the pullback zone? All right, so we're holding old shelf here. All right, so they need to hold this. If they start failing this, we'll give the move back. So into a big, big key level there on higher time frame on Goog. Gapping down slightly, but you'd have to say bullish rotation. All right, all the time they're holding this. If we look below and fail, shorts will get caught. If we look below and stay heavy, then those bulls who bought late will get liquidated. So that's what we'll be watching on Goog, same as Qs really. Meta, strong move. It came out with a new AI move yesterday. So many of you, especially in Discord, are probably long with me. All right, so I would advise any of you, especially if you're in the options market, right, if we took longs here, right, I'd be selling some of these as we come into big key levels, and then you can hold runners to see if this thing gets going. But if the market stays heavy, this can just be a back test, okay? And this can be a back test, and you would expect some form of pullback here. So if you took these longs with me in Discord, please make sure you're paying yourself some money into that, and then we'll wait and see if we can base out at 600. And if we can, and the market starts to find a bid, then we look good for upside to hold long term. Microsoft, opening up flat, selling off yesterday after that big pump out. Still doesn't look too pretty right now. Doesn't look too pretty. So that would be the second leg for me. So how we act around here becomes important now. And they're going to need to hold over these sort of 65s. They can hold over 65s. We can think about, continuation. Otherwise, we're going to break lower. So again, a lot of this is going to depend on the bigger market sentiment right now. Nvidia, really strong. All right, this is what we talked about. We've talked about it all the time. Under 170, weakness. Look below and fail. Reclaim. It should, in theory, we're at midpoint. It should, if we have strength, come to the top side of this range now. Doesn't have to do it in one session, but we were there for a long time. But it should, in theory, if that is a look below and fail, it should try and get up to the top side. Tesla continues to look like a piece of shit. All right, this is just not something that looks pretty. Nowhere near a level that I'd want to trade right now. Not to the upside anyway. Just all pops getting sold into still. Some of the broader names coming back in. So we'll see how these hold. Like Oracle might want a bit more downside like we've talked about. AMD looks very, very strong. I'm surprised how strong that is really with the PE way out of line. And Netflix holding well. Looks like it's going to try and continue that breakout. Again, many of these will depend on what happens. We're long in all of these at the moment. All right, let's get back to the open. Open coming up here, folks. Not in a rush to do anything today. Certainly, it might be a day where I don't trade, to be honest, given where we're opening and how I'm feeling. But let's see. Hopefully, we can get something together. Please don't go early this time, or please don't spam chat for no reason, guys. All right. I'll do the giveaways if you guys just don't spam chat. If you guys can just do your bit, then we're all good. All right, so opening drive up to previous day value area high here. Mixed bag on the mag. Coming up to close the gap on ES as well. Instantly slammed on the face. up here. There aren't bots that spam, guys, because I don't even start a giveaway and people just start following each other. It's not bots. All I'd ask, you guys get me to 1,200 likes, we do a giveaway. We get to 1,500 likes. I tell you what, I'll make it easy. 1,000 likes, we do a giveaway. 1,200 likes, we do another giveaway. 1,500 likes, we do another giveaway. That's the deal. That's the deal. All right, failing previous day value area high, so might well see the rotation back down now. Shame we didn't poke up a little bit higher there, to be honest. Would have liked to poke a slightly bit higher. Can we get some volume on here? Trading feet. There we go. Oh, you've changed colors. Great. A good start. There we go. All right, right into that gamma level, into the area we got compact in yesterday as well. So I want to see how we act for a look above and fail up here, or a look above and base. VIX dropping down into the 21s, closing its gap. No edge yet. No edge yet. Yeah. Let it rotate this already. Maybe. Lots of buyers down here at 50s. Feels like they want to get heavy with it. Didn't quite poke up enough for me. Yeah, 606s. We filled the gap. QQQ didn't fit it on ES. If pop starts to fail here, I'd be interested. I don't really want to put into the midpoint of the range as we're putting back to the top of that last development. We'll see. If you read out on the mag, Tesla 0.13% down, Nvidia 0.5% down, Microsoft 1.25% down. Meta, the strong one, over 2% up. Google 1% down. Amazon 1.28% up. Apple basically flat. So they're starting to sell this now. We would need pops to fail here to start getting involved if possible, to get to the other side of the range, because we're coming right back towards the VWAP here. So we'll see if there's a way of getting involved here for the flush. Remember, ES hasn't filled its gap yet either, folks. And we don't want to short down here. If you look at like the hourly chart, it's not where we want to be a seller. We want to be a seller right up here if possible. So at least a lift up and see if they fail the lift. Is that all you're going to do? So QQQ coming into its VWAP. VIX has closed its gap. ES has not closed its gap. SPY has not closed the gap. We've got divergence across the board. We feel very heavy here on the tape, but just not a good entry level. So if you took that pop this morning to fail towards up here, which is what we wanted, you look very, very good. And got to find a way of getting involved now. I'd be TP1 down here if I was you. You're going to let me get involved at all this morning, market. All right, into lower time frame algo and VWAP. We want pops to fail if we're going to rotate. Again, I'm watching the hourly chart. So as we come back down to previous day value area low, you want to be covering. If we stay heavy under that, then we can look for that low, the lows of yesterday. Some of you got it. Oh, nice. Very nice. It was a good drive. I just wanted to see a bit more. A little bit of a swipe up here would have been good. But make sure you're paying yourself. You're still inside previous day's value range, okay? And ES is yet to close that gap. Quick 1K on 4 accounts. Thanks, Alex. You're welcome. Okay, sellers getting a little bit caught into that view up there. I'd say how we act at value area low now becomes important. We just came up towards it. That would be an important level now. Lots of bids below. Still where he's getting involved here. That might have been it. That might have been it, folks. I might have missed that opportunity there. We'll see. Higher would be much better, but be careful. Watch how they I'm going to watch how they act around these 50s. If they lift it, then we're going to come right back up to 70s. Okay, so they're lifting. Here's the 50s. So they might go 70s, and we can have a look how we act there. Again, ES is breaking out of the high, so we've got big divergence here. ES is yet to fill its gap into VPOC here. Passive selling here into 60s. It just looks very messy. Another messy day. ES trying to break out. Still nothing. It's right in the middle of the range. View up to view up. This was like yesterday, stuck between the two view ups. So they might come and test 70s. If they break through 70s, and then they're going to look for a new high. There's not much excess at the highs. That dip held on the H1. If they can't break the 70s, then there's maybe a rotation. ES stuck up here right now. Please not again. It very well might be a rotation day again. I mean, remember, it's really, I know we opened up here yesterday in New York, but it's the first day of a new bar. It's very possible we go in a rotation and chop around all day. Very, very possible, especially with the headline swirling. You've got to remember the headline swirling. You know, no one knows what's going on. You can get told one thing, and the next minute, Iran says something else, and then Israel says something else, and Pakistan says something else, and America says something else. And even in America, each news channel is saying something different. So there's lots of headline swirling. There's a good rejection of 70, but we're just in the midpoint right now of the opening drive, so not much edge here. I would say SPY can't get over that 675. Hasn't got close over that high volume node yet. H1 does look like it's trying to curl, but we're coming into a big level up here. Poking those 70s like we talked about. Slow tape, very slow tape. Coming back to 70s again. 80s, there's the spike up. What are they going to do with it now then? It's the first time I've seen some buyers get caught in that move to 80s there. Sellers coming back in for the rotation. Can they break below the 50s? And do we see any momentum, or is this it? Definitely buyers caught in that shove up towards 80s there. So I'm interested if we're going to see follow through. But if we keep just absorbing 50s to 80s, there's nothing to do. Right in the midpoint of the range. That was the first time I've seen buyers caught this morning. It's a shame it's so low, to be honest. Booklet's awful, guys. I'm just watching the tape. It's just doesn't know what to do. Okay, they're going to try and lift back to 80s to see if they can check these buyers. Nope. Passive selling there. All right, big sellers. All right, I'm starting to perk my interest now that I've seen that. Is this the same level as yesterday? 80. It is, isn't it? It's exactly the same level they absorbed that yesterday. 80s, right? Oh, God. Where we had that bar on the tape all day. Is he here again? Seller's trying to step in, but it's just messy on the tape. There you go. Same area as yesterday. There we go. So ES trying to hold above its New York open print. Remember, ES hasn't closed its gap yet. We're right in the mid. I just keep looking at the H1 thinking this is an awkward place to trade. Up here is good. If we pop and fail around that high volume node. If we pop and hold though over the 100s, then you've got to think they're going to look for that 250 today. So I want to see how we act up here really. ES trying to get that gap fill by the looks of it. Mag's still a complete mixed bag, right? Tesla 0.5% up, Nvidia 1/3% down, Microsoft 1.31% down, Meta 2% up, Google 1% down, Amazon 1.70% up, Apple 0.25% down. Complete mixed bag, which speaks to a rotation to me. All right, here's the New York Open. ES still not filled that gap. It's trying to get up for a gap fill, but it's struggling. We're rejecting New York Open here. Edge of range, fail again. It's not just the edge of the range today. Just look at the developing week. We come right to that edge of range again. Who just said that? EMP, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So just keep zooming out. I just keep looking at this hourly chart. All right, we're coming to the edge of this. This is the developing week. All right, so we're rotating this. So this morning we came down towards the low side, not quite the low side, back to the upside. All right, if they break above and hold above here, this becomes possible. If they do the look above here, then we're going to trade back inside. All right, and then if we do trade upside, right, then I'd expect to look above here and a trade back inside. I don't think we get going today, but happy to be wrong, like always. Not going to fight with the market. If it wants to do something crazy, it can. All right, so they're going to try and squeeze this H1. So we're watching this level here, look above and fail, especially as ES is coming in to close its gap. All right, thinking about look above and fail here, unless they're going to squeeze right up to this next level. All right, so these are the 3 look above and fail levels. So if you're long, I'll be watching this, this, and this. Yes, almost filled its gap. It's trying. Has it got anything above on the gap fill? Yeah, it's got a little bit. What is this here? Yeah, so I'd be watching 25s, basically 24, 25s on ES. VIX really letting go now. So they're trying to get this H1 curl. I would imagine there's a short up here soon at some point once they finish squeezing out. Just for the rotation, right? Not like a big sell. We're not in a big sell until we let go underneath sort of 900. But for a rotation, there's probably a pop and then a trade back inside. It just depends how far they squeeze it. Is it this? Is it this? Is it this? What am I looking for today? I've gone through it about 1 million times. Range rotation, edges, trading back into the range. Right, yeah, still not quite filling its gap. Came a bit short of it. Messy. I'm going to clean this up a bit because it's a bit messy. So that's the edge of the developing. Okay, not today. The grey. It's edge of developing. We long or short? Well, right now I wouldn't be short. You could be long up to this point. We're waiting to see if we get a look above or fail somewhere for a short back down. If you were long from down here up to there, that makes sense. I'm waiting to see. Look, we're rejecting previous day value area high right now, so we'll see. We did trap some bulls up there, just not a lot. Not a lot yet. ES still not closed its gap. Converting me to a range trader, yeah. Well, unfortunately, market keeps doing gigantic moves overnight, and then we have to develop liquidity for a few days. Okay, so into value area high of the current session. So we're fighting between these nodes right now, right? Previous day value area high, current day value area high, and the developing week edge around the sort of 113. So I would imagine around here there's probably a good chance of a failure soon. But I would like to see ideally ES fill its gap and then give us no reason to go higher. And then we can look for the fade. We're starting to see it come in already. There's lots of bids down here at 80s. I'd like to see one more pop up first before I look for a failure on an edge. Or not. Or not. Or it can just do this. Seller's getting heavy. Okay, well, let's see then. We'll watch this edge here into 90s. Yeah, still not filled its gap. Seller coming in here. If we can pop up and fail, I'll think about it. There's still lots of guys to be filled. All right, here's the edge of 90s. All right, got a small piece on short there. And I'm not going to risk above that node. If they want to squeeze, I'll just stop out. A small piece on for the rotation back into range. It's not ideal, but we'll see. Nice. Can we get under 60s here and then wash to the low of day? If we stay heavy here, I'll think about the ad. Rejecting New York. Got to be careful with ES into VWAP. Looking good here. Still haven't added. All right, move my stop down to 80, so protecting myself. Here's VPOC. So if you've got enough size on, which I don't, you can cover some here at 60s, and then we can look for the low of day. Come on, you got to break 60s. We get under these 60s, we've got a chance to move lower. It's big delta point there. There's lots of bids down here. So I would take some, if you can take some profit, take some profit. Because you're midpoint of that rotation. Good rejection of New York here. If they reclaim New York, I'll take this off for a small win. Yes, still absorbing off New York VWAP, so I want to be careful. And it still hasn't filled its gap as a reminder, so it's got a reason to move higher still on the ES. But we do have relative strength in ES as well. No, we don't. We have relative strength in NQ. I'm lying. Are you going to pop me out here? There we go. I'm out now. I'll look for re-entry. Just locked a little bit in there to start the day. ES really wants to do that gap fill. It's the only thing I'm aware of. But we're now starting to reject current week point of control. This is current week, right? Yeah, current week point of control, previous day point of control, and the edge. We're starting to see heaviness come in there. Oh my God. You're going to see the Alex trade now. Fantastic. I sound better. I'm definitely not better. I'm worse. My hands are literally sweating, dripping with sweat. Ticked you out as well. Yeah, I moved my stop tight just to make sure I'm protected, because if we reclaim New York, it can squeeze with ES not having filled its gap. But we're getting very sensitive down here. And if they let go of these 60s, then you'll probably see a failure back down to the low of the New York session. So see if there's a way of getting back in here. All the time they hold 60s, they're going to rotate 60s to 90s. This is a 60 failure. So we're going to come and test 36s ideally now and then low of day. So in here for a mid-range break, stop already straight into the money, not giving it room. And it needs to stay heavy versus 60s. And then we look to come down to low of day. Here we come. Beautiful. Lovely. All right, there's the 36s, which are value area low. And if we get under that, we're going to get a low of day move and a lower day break. So stops into the money now, and we just see. Shame it had to tip me out first time on that premium entry. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, TP1 here. Take some off there, and then we'll see if we can flush now. Really good. Shame ES didn't fill the gap, would have made it really easy. And if we stay heavy here, folks, all right, if we stay heavy here, we're going to look for 995s, and then we're going to look for a big flush underneath this. So we're not going to enter short down here. We're going to hold, try and get down into these, right, for the lower day break, down into the 995s. And if we stay heavy today, we can move into this grey box again. If we stay heavy under that, we can look for the next grey box. All right, so we're positioned well, but you should be paying yourself because we're still in a range, and the H1 is still testing backwards and forwards. Right, ES coming into 24-hour view up here, holding its New York Open. You're seeing some absorption on ES. All right, so they're trying to hold ES because they want to close the gap, but they failed to close the gap first time round. So you would need this to stay heavy. You want point of control to stay heavy. All right, so 60s. You need 60s to stay heavy here. Remember, you're into value area low here. All right, you're starting to see weakness come into this tape now. There's lots of bids down at 20s. As long as pops keep failing, you look good. And there's a buyer at these 24s, and I think we should take him out, really. It's from the beginning of the day. There was a 71 lot down at 24, so I'd like to see him liquidated, not protected. Come on, get under 24s. We'll go and liquidate him, for fuck's sake. Lots of bids down here into 10s. Here we go. Testing 24s. Can we get under 24s? Under 24s would be great. And we see a break. There we go. All right, that's liquidating him. So that's TP2. And then just runners now. See how low we can go, folks. Really good. Fantastic. Fantastic. Nice work. Lovely work. Lovely work. How low can you go is the question now. But you just want to be careful of a look below and fail of this opening range. But we had a 70 lot buyer here this morning. So we've just liquidated him. All right. So if they want to pin it and go back in, they will. Which is why we're covering a good chunk here. But then the next target is down here, and then down here, and then down here. Can we get rid of that? There we go. Beautiful work. Beautiful work, team. Oh my God. Sorry. A complete burnout this year. If you know what I've gone through, it is hardly surprising. Complete and utter burnout. Oh. Thanks for joining, Lisa. Look at the hourly. Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what we were planned for this morning, right? Poke up. Think about where we've poked up into. We're expecting a rotation today. There's value area high. There's the node from the developing profile of this week. So we poke up, we fail, we trap bulls, we come down, we're coming to the other side. All right, so we're covering into this. The big question now is, do we see this, or do we just see a bid back up? I don't know. I don't know, but we're positioned so that if we want to do this and we need to get an add-on, we can. All right. You're up 3,000 today, Christina. Nice work, Christina. Really good. As long as you paid yourself, you look fantastic. Looks fantastic. Remember, 25,000, big level. Big options level as well. Just check the gamma on the daily there. 2580, they moved it up to. So we look good. Negative gamma, we look good. Let's see if they can stay heavy or not. Big question is going to be ES. ES is desperately trying to hold on right now. Looks good. Looks good. They look like they want more downside pressure here. Here we come. They're trying to get down to these 25,000s. And then we're going to look for basically previous day value area low. And if we break that and stay heavy, it'd be really fun. Yes, beautiful. Here comes the 25,000s. How low can we go? Come on, baby. Keep going. Get under 25k. You know you want to. All right, a little bit here. They're going to come and test 25s. You can see them on the tape at 25s. This shelf here, 25, 27s. You do not want to re-squeeze because of ES. There you go, out of this now. So ES causing the problems there on a reclaim. We can still think about a resell here. It's just going to be a trade back inside the range. All right, so this can be a look below and fail if they start reclaiming this. All right, otherwise we can stay heavy. I'm just going to let this like settle out for a minute because ES is desperately trying to get back up. It hasn't. Remember the big difference right now. NQ has closed its gap. Okay, ES has not closed its gap. ES is desperate to close its gap, and they keep finding a bid around the New York Open. We have swept this, which is why we took most of our profit out and stopped out on the runner, and we can just let this build out now. If they start rejecting these nodes up here, we're going to move lower. If they reclaim it, it's going to be a range rotation again. But remember, the main thing today was looking to rotate the range. If we build out enough liquidity here, maybe we get this downside pressure move later in the day. It might be soon, but right now I'm out of it, made the money in this first drive down, and we can just wait for a minute. ES is definitely the problem at the moment. Mag's starting to look heavier and heavier as well. Buyer just got caught there. Buyer just got caught there at 36s. Again, it's a bit like the last few days. We're not seeing sellers walk down. These sellers who are at 50s are staying at 50s. You would like to see them come down and create a wall lower. But if we can build out like a two leg or a flag here, then we can think about that trade lower. But I want to be careful as we come into the edge of the range. And we are all sell side under 20. All right. So currently all the sellers under 20 got absorbed. They got absorbed under 20. That's why we keep testing this 20. So big seller came in at 30, big seller at 20, buyer came in at 36. So all the time we're holding 20s, sellers are a little bit iffy from the last 5 minutes, basically. You can see all the sellers, okay, they're starting to move down now. The guys that are at 50 have moved down to 30s, and they've re-added lots at 50s as well. So can we get a second leg to sell into is the question here, or is it going to be a range rotation? Bids on the tape here. Are they going to lift the 50s? So I've got no position yet. I'm just letting this build out liquidity for the next move. We traded this and we traded this. We had some good moves. 1 minute to the top of the hour. Yeah, it is. Remember, very possible today we go sideways. ES again. I can show you the difference. ES. Look at the difference. Holding on, trying to fill its gap. All right, higher low, trying to fill its gap. We are not doing that on NQ. All right, so we have divergence in the market right now because tech is weak. All right, we're not up here holding a higher low. Very, very different. So we have full divergence here. You've got to be careful though. VIX just rejected closing its gap, trading under. So messy, messy, messy when we see that. Seek and destroy today. Yeah, like I said, very possible we do something like that. Build out liquidity. All right, testing the 20s. Remember, this is where the sellers keep getting stuck. If we break under this, then there's a good chance of moving lower. But If they keep absorbing down here, then these sellers are going to get caught. So here's the 20s check. This is the level. If sellers can't move under here, they will get caught. They need a flush under here. The big, big level here. If we start breaking, I'm going to start being interested if we start seeing a heavy tape. Are these guys still up at 50 or have they left? They are still up at 50s and 45s. All right, starting to see them try and join again here at 20s. They're looking for that break down to value area low is what they're looking for, and then a break further if they can. So we'll watch here if they start rejecting 20s and 30s or not. Buyers, sellers are still up at 45s and 50s. Buyers are still under 12s, down to 25s. ES rejecting Globex there, but right into its New York VWAP. It's getting very tight on the ES. Very, very, very tight on the ES. Okay, they're going to break lower here. They're trying to desperately break lower here. See all the bids stacking up. Here they go. They're going to go and try and swipe all these bids out all the way down to 90s. So sellers trying to get very aggressive for the breakdown to 90s at the moment to fill their orders down there all the way down to 90s. Big buyer came in at 21, so that's the pressure point. Over 21 sellers will be caught. Testing the 21s. If they squeeze this, they're going to squeeze up to 31s. 21s is a big level here where the buyers last got caught. If they squeeze this, they're going to squeeze 31s. ES done a great job of holding on there. Look at ES. Wow. So different to NQ right now. It's rare that you see ES near high of day and NQ near low of day, but that's what we have right now. So rejection of 21s. They've got to move this lower, though, these sellers. Otherwise, they're going to get caught. There's so much liquidity underneath to come and clean out. But ES has held New York open again. Getting very tight here. That last pop trap buyers again. They just need to see this like fast break for the sellers. Otherwise, they're going to get really caught because they have piled in under 20. So they need a breakdown to value area low. ES still holding VWAPs and New York open. Big divergence. Here come the sellers again, having one more go to clean up all the way down to value area low here. Here they come. They need this break. They can't keep getting absorbed here. They're going to get very caught here if ES keeps holding on. If ES gets under its New York open, then I think we get a snap all at once. But at the moment, it's absorbing it. Getting very, very condensed in this pocket. Again, no position for me. Already made my money, just waiting now for the next trade. Here's the squeeze back up. These sellers about to get hurt, I think. So a break above, certainly above 40s, and you'll see a squeeze straight away back up. So sellers will need to defend 40s, or they're absolutely fooked. ES held New York open again, back to Globex high, through both VWAPs again. It looks like it wants to close that gap. It's desperate to close the gap on ES. Let me have a look at the breadth out here. Yeah, energy up today, utilities up. Is that where the strength's coming from? Healthcare down. Industrials up, that's YM. Utilities up, real estate up, basics up, energy up, defensive flat. All right, so can they squeeze now is the question. This is the level where sellers must defend these 40s. If not, they're going to get squeezed right out. ES looking to break out here. There you go, is the squeeze. So sellers had the chance. They piled in under 20s, got themselves caught. We'll come up to that last big sell guy at 40s. Reaction at 40s. Back down to the top side of this range now. Buyers will want to bid this and squeeze. Here we go. There's the squeeze. And that divergence absolutely killed those sellers on NQ. ES still not filled its gap. It's trying. It's coming back up to high of day. So remember, ES is right the way up here by comparison. All that work on ES and they still haven't closed it. Really? Really? You're going to do that for nothing? So range rotation is value to value, likely now, I would imagine. Value to value. It's a shame we didn't tag that. But there we go. Back to VWAP. ES failed to break out there. It's messy now to trade. This could be a second leg, but it's very difficult to trade that with ES not filling gap. And we're trapped between the two VWAPs again. That is a really strong rejection on ES, but it did not fill its gap. Its gap right now is up at 23.75. We just tagged 21, so it's just a couple points short. All right, let's see then. See how ES reacts into VWAP and the New York Open. This feels like a two-leg, which is going to dump here, but sellers came heavy at 20s. That's the level that buyers want to defend, is 20s. I'll show you here. This is the level, 20s, right? This is the level. Buyers, everything's sell side under there. If we start breaking under that, sellers are back in for the move down to 94s and then 54s. Horrible price action. I don't think it's horrible. I think the divergence is a pain, but I wouldn't say it's horrible. It's just a rotation. We'll see here if we can get some follow through if they're going to do it. They're testing 20s again. Still holding the 20s for now. Feels like it's going to come. All depends on this ES trade. ES is still holding its VWAP. Just soaked off VWAP again. You got to think this would be much easier if ES just hurried up and closed the gap and then rotated. All right, back to these 20s, perking my interest here. I think we're going to see some wash coming soon. It's just a question of the moment, yes, let's go VWAP, and it's not yet. Another soak off VWAP, wow. I think it's a matter of time till we let go here. It is a matter of time, even on the 5 minute. We've repriced, we're starting to sell. I think it's a matter of time till we move lower. It's just, can we get involved in a safe place? ES back to VWAP again here. So back to these 20s again here. I think the wash down is coming in my mind. And there's some narrative changes. I've got stuck a piece on here. We'll just see. Small size, just see if it wants to wash down, because I can feel the tape getting heavier and heavier. Here we go. There we go. Beautiful. Finally came once that tape started to roll. Okay, so let's see. Let's see. We've swept the lows already, so paid myself a little bit. And let's see if we can get previous day value area low and keep washing. If not, then I'm going to soak. Then I've already paid myself something for that wash. As long as we stay heavy here. As long as we stay heavy here, let's see. Into these 20s again. These have got to be protected here by sellers. These 20s have got to be protected by sellers. It's good. It's good. Still looks okay. Looks good. Lovely. Come on. Let's go, baby. Yes, can you please fuck off? Absorbing there. Get out of my way. You're going to make my life difficult on the runners. Get under your New York Open. Go away. Yes, go away. Still protecting 20s. We still look good, folks. I'm still sitting in this short all the time. We're staying heavy. Still looks good. Really good. See if we can get an extension down to 84s and below here. Coming to value area low. Sorry, 94s. My bad. Sorry, 84s, 94s. What I would say, there's sellers stacked at 22s to 32s. I don't really want this to come over 20 evens now on the runner. Nice. ES letting go of New York Open, so it's coming into its 24-hour VWAP. So if we can see ES start to let go, it would really, really, really help us here because it's been a faff. It's stuck between that New York Open and New York VWAP right now. Still rejecting 20s. Still got all these sellers all the way up to 30s. I'm not going to give it up to 30s. I'll cut and reload if I have to on the runner. I'm out now. I'll cut and reload if I have to. That's fine. I'm not going to get squeezed out. There we go. Back to VPOC. Big seller coming in here. Don't like seeing that. We should squeeze higher now. There you go. That seller's going to get himself caught. What an idiot. What a wally. What a wally Mr. 75 lot was. Yeah, like I said, I'm done with it. Made the money on that move. It's fine. Scalping my way through it. Test the 40s. Yeah, we might really, really squeeze now. That big lot just came in. Really silly, that big lot that came in. So unless we move under 28s now, he's caught. It's the first big seller I've seen get caught down there. We saw some absorption, but he's a market seller and he just got whacked. I don't know why he would sell there. Very odd. But he did. Don't call you a wally with your 75 lot, Sam. Oh, I'm sorry, Sam. All right, we're testing him now. If they bid off him, we'll squeeze. They're literally testing him right here at 28s. This is his level. So if we get back under him, he's happy. He'll be a happy man or a happy person. So 28s. This is his level. I'm out of it now. Like I said, no position now. God, ES, please. What are you doing? That is a terrible 5 minute. Are they going to let go now after washing me out? Yep, here comes the heavy tape. These prints. Oh, do we have one more go versus that seller? I don't know, man. ES needs to get under the VWAP and then I feel happy. We're starting to go sideways here. I think there's a break coming. They're just going to make it really hard if ES keeps holding. Really, really hard if it keeps holding. Here we go. Heavy, heavy, heavy tape. If ES starts losing VWAP, right, 809s and that opening range 808s, then we're going to really dunk. So it's just going to be very hard to get involved now with all these wicks down here. Coming to previous day value area low. This is the target, remember. ES into VWAP here. Watching this. Here comes the break. Tagged off VWAP, soaked off VWAP. We didn't quite. We made the. There you go. The whole number, the 500 it made. So it made the whole number. And we'll see here if there's a way of getting involved. I've got to be very careful the lower we go here, but the tape is heavy. ES under VWAP, right at that key level. If we break here, you should, if you're still in a short, you should be paying yourself into this node. And if we start letting go of this, we're going to try and find a way to get down to 50s and then all the way into this grey box. All right, so here comes the move in towards this node here, 25,000. big level. Staying heavy, like I said, it's staying heavy. Here you go. Finally, they've done that move. All right, cover some here if you got it right into this level, and then if you crack this, we can look for that wash. Here we go. Here we go. Please pay yourself. Please pay yourself some money here, and then just hold runners to see how low we go now. Hopefully we get a break because ES is starting to let go now finally after doing that dance all day. I'm sorry that took so long, folks. Sorry it made it awkward. I can't control the market. I wish I could. I wish I could control the market. They've made it awkward. So I would pay yourself a chunk here, and then I'd pay yourself a chunk into 53s. And if you break 53s, let me just zoom out here, make sure I can. We break 53s, we can look for that low from yesterday. Here we go. It's starting to really wash now. Just to look at the difference. ES now selling made life a little bit easier for this. I wish it had just done it when we were all in it together. All right, so you just want a heavy tape versus basically the teens versus up here. As long as it stays heavy versus these nodes, you're good. Some absorption down here into 85s. I think we break lower. No. Nice, yeah, some of you in it. Good work. Looks good. Just don't be attacking too heavy too far down because we're coming into the edge of these nodes that we built out this week. All right, so again, like I always talk about, zoom out on the hourly. We're seeing what we wanted. We expected a rotation today. All right, we're seeing that rotation. It's a question now, do they break down? As we get into this, you do not want to be adding short here. The add there will need to be a rejection if we build out range. All right, do not start slamming short into this because this can be the area where they do this move here, okay? Because these are the singles, okay? So it's possible that they protect the singles. If not, then we get a really nice drive and we'll find a way of getting more size on. But just understand where you are right now. It's the one thing you take from this channel, like zoom out, try and zoom out. How do I use Bookmap to get an edge? I use it to see where the aggression's coming in and who's stuck. Okay, so I can see who's stuck in Bookmap. If we're seeing passive sellers start to join the tape and be more aggressive, walking it down, which is what we're seeing at the moment. I can see there's a big bid here at 75, which means we're going to have a very aggressive seller into 75. So we're about to see a big lot here, at least 70 lot coming to 75 if we're going to get under it. Otherwise, they're going to keep trying to protect it. And then I can look at all the levels. Here we go. So they're trying to fill here. They're trying to fill this 75. There's a 75 lot at 75. So you can see it's a big level. And to get through that, we're going to need a market seller of at least the same size and bigger if we're going to move lower. And then the next levels I can see are 65, 60s, 52s, all around those 52s. There's like 100 lot, which is why we said, there you go. So there's a reaction of 75 off that 75 lot is 75. So that's how we use Bookmap, right? Because we can see the actual orders in real time. You entered short on previous day value area low by mistake. Well, you're in the money, so you could just, you know, if you don't like that position, you could move your stop break even or take it off altogether, couldn't you, if it was a mistake? Big buyer coming in there, getting caught. big buyer coming in there, getting caught into in front of the 25,000. So they are starting to be very aggressive buying here. And if we pop a little bit and then they get caught and we break lower now, it will look good because they've come in 50 lot, 100, well, basically a couple hundred lot down here in front of 25,000. So I'd watch 25,000 and I'd watch, there's an imbalance at 05 to 10 and then the teens. All right, so if you're going to reload, you're going to want to watch that and you want to be careful. Like I talk about, if look below and fail on a reclaim, just be very, very cautious because you've hit previous day value area low now. So they can lift right up here if they want to. Does my wife trade? No, she teaches yoga and meditation. She does not trade. She could trade. She'd probably be a lot better than I am. Much more calm mind. Okay, ES through its 24-hour VWAP. It's going to test its New York Open now. I imagine there's a little squeeze out and then probably a failure coming up soon, hopefully. We've got to watch these areas up here. These areas here. So 25,000 whole number. Remember, big buyers came in at 89s and at 82s. We will see. We will see if we can break down under theirs. And then we now have liquidity to move lower if we break down under them. There we go. All right, this is what I'm saying. When we see these buyers at these lows, if we can break under them, it would be really good now because they've come in very, very aggressive down there. So we actually have liquidity to move lower now if we can move under them. If you think about it, if you're a 100 lot buyer and you put your stop down there now and your average price is probably at 85, if we start breaking under, they're going to start feeling the pressure. So this is the question now, can we break under them? Yes, good rejection on that move back up towards New York Open. Downside pressure looks good here. It's just, can they break under these buyers? We're probably at their average price at 85, I would say. Lots of liquidity underneath if they want to break. Remember, we're looking for 50s. Got to get under this 56 lot. Any good? Yeah. Thank you. What's the target for downside? Well, a lot of it you should have taken out. The next level would be Globex, 50s. And the level after that, we'd be looking this grey box. And if we let go of this grey box, we could look for the next one down if they really wanted to do it. But a lot of it you should be out of because the rotation trade is value to value, right? So if you think about what we've done today, we've traded yesterday's range, value to value, right? And which the question is, can they do any more? Once we do this, I think that will probably happen, but we'll see. Again, ES is your tricky pain point right now. That surface right there with the coffee, yeah, she's the best, man. Best wife. All right, it's starting to see a buyer step up on the tape now. 156 lot just come in at 995, trying to support the bid for a squeeze out. We're coming to fill these imbalances we just talked about. Like I said, it's the teens which interest me. I'm not in it. So it's the teens that interest me. Up into these shells. Well, these wicks will be interesting. I'd rather we come up here, but we'll see. Oh, so yeah. Sorry, I should reframe that, shouldn't I? It sounds like I'm a Jimmy Savile, which I'm definitely not. The teens. Yes, sorry. 25,000s, the low 25,000s interest me for a potential rejection. There you go. So let's get Jimmy Savile out of the chat, shall we? For you Americans that don't know who he is, he's a disgusting man from the UK who's dead. And he was a sir, would you believe it? Oh, I think he was a sir. If he wasn't a sir, he's definitely an MBE, maybe not an OBE. Was he a TV host guy? Yeah, he was. He was, anyway, Probably don't want to talk about it in chat. He was a disgusting man. Disgusting man. Okay, back to where these buyers were. These sellers are really, they are trying to hammer it here. I was looking for a lift a little bit higher to get involved, unfortunately. Alex might have waited too long there. You can see all these bids down at 18 below. ES looks like it's about to break. We're right at that point of that average price of that buyer that I think his average price will be around 85. So we need to see, are they going to see follow through for a new low? Down into Globex is the question. I don't know if there's a way of me getting involved now. I might have just missed it. Did I just miss it on that push? Probably. Here they come. Sellers coming in hot here. They are trying to get you that breakdown. There's so many bids at 18 below, but they are trying to force this breakdown. If ES can join, it's near the lower day. If you get a double break here, then 50s was the original target. You might still well get it. And lots of passive buys here. 80, 75, 72, 70s, 65, 60s. People starting to take some profits here on the shorts, but I think you should get the break. It looks good for the break. Really does. Here it comes. Here it comes, folks. Here it comes. All right, so see if you can get 50s on your runners. And then below that, we can look for the next level. Big seller coming in here at the lower day, right at 75. And remember, we're looking for this orange line. Here you go, folks. Looks good. All right, so you can move your stop in a bit tighter if you want and see if you can get these 50s. Looks good. ES joining the party now. I will watch this wick on ES at 801. So 800s, 801 is probably going to be an important level, which is probably going to time pretty good with coming into this. You look good. You look good, folks. Those are in it. You look really good. Nice flow zone rejection. You look good. Cleaner day. Yeah, cleaner day is probably a cleaner day because we needed to rotate yesterday and build the liquidity. We've used a bit of it today. I mean, we are still technically in liquidity building phase, but it's possible we can break away from that liquidity today. I would imagine they won't do that today. I think we might get a look below here and fail under previous day low if we come that low, but we'll see. Yeah, exactly. They won't do it today because of gamma exposure. Well, you mean they're bid it in, hold it up. That's why I don't think we move. This is what I'm saying. I don't think we move under here. I think there's a chance. I think there's a chance we come and tag this out. This is your big Gex level. Total exposure is here. Biggest total exposure is here, right? Which is Globex, which is why we're looking for these 53s. But there is a negative squeeze down into these if they want to do it. And this is your big gamma level. Your put wall if they do it, but we'll see. It's not that far, all right? If they do like a bit of a wick test under here, it wouldn't be asking that much, but we'll see. It's only an extra 20 points, right, to take out previous day's low. But yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I don't think we're going to like return back in and fill those single prints from, what day is it today? From Monday night, Tuesday morning, Tuesday evening, sorry. You still look good. You can see where it's trying to go. You can see where it's trying to go. The wonderful thing about trading is you have a completely different strategy to me, and yet a lot of the time we have the same bias for similar entries. Yeah, I totally agree, man. There's so many different ways to trade. There's no wrong or right. I will say, like, I've been reviewing some of my trades recently, and I need to get back to my system a bit more. I would say I spent yesterday doing it, although I was feeling sick, going through my journaling. And I'd say there's too many times recently, and it's probably because of the type of condition of market we've been in, where we've been like ranging and expansion models versus breakout models like this, where I've ignored, where I'll respect value, right? And I've maybe ignored my flow zone system a bit too much, and I'm going to try and get back to that a little bit, because there's a reason I built it. And when we find momentum like today, I would say there's probably days in the past where I'd be looking for that relief too early when we have downside pressure and my system's telling me we're in a sell. So today, obviously, I didn't do that, but there's always room for improvement. What do I think for a Tyson trade right now? Well, I think you need to be aware of the target is under here. I wouldn't be longing in front of IB right now, right? We're in downside pressure, like structure, we're in downside pressure, all right? If we come and do this and then reclaim, all right, then you can think about that Tyson trade back in, right? It's very, very possible given where we've based things out, but I'd want to see this complete at least that move first, and I'd want to see the structure work for you. So ideally, you do something like this, all right? We have good sell. If you're looking for the Tyson trade, you'd need good sell excess down here so that you know there's buyers down here absorbing. You'd need a recovery, and then you can look for it. Don't look for it as we're in downside pressure when we've got low-hanging fruits. For the expansion, let's have a look for the expansion. I mean, it's possible. We'll see. This is a huge level down here. All right, so get ready to, like, you should have your limit covers out here, and then just anything beyond that is a bonus. It looks good. Oh, they're trading. Yeah. Well, you can use footprints. So right here. Oh, sorry. All right, so you could use footprint charts on TradingView. All right, so you can see in this last footprint chart, lots of buyers getting caught on that drive up. So on that bear flag up, this is what you'd want to see. Buyers getting caught topside. All right, we move under them, under the point of control on that candle, and we start to rotate down. Right, and your target is this right now. So you can use footprint charts. There's a video for free on my YouTube on how to set it up. You will need the premium, whatever it is, premium account with TradingView. Is it a good place to start a small long? Well, your location isn't bad, but your momentum's terrible. And we have not, remember, look at the H1. We've not liquidated yet. I would wait for a liquidation event before trying a long, which is probably what I didn't do enough of yesterday. I'd wait for some of these to get run out and a recovery. All right, because if you're just going to try a long here, what happens if it keeps fading? What are you going to do? It's going to get hard for you to stop out. You need the momentum to shift the other way, right? Right now, we're breaking down, we're breaking down, we're breaking down. You need a recovery. You need a wash of a range and a return back into the range, and you're not seeing that yet. Not yet, anyway. I'm one for not front running. Like, the momentum's heavy. It's into a big key level, but I think it should come and wash these guys out first, is what I would want to see. And ES has got a long way to go to catch up. Did I say H1? Yeah, hourly, right? So if I say H1, hour 1, H4 would be a 4-hour candle. M1 would be a minute candle. Is the mic quieter than usual? I don't think so. It might be that I'm struggling to talk. Normal shorted from 932, got stopped out for no reason. I was so confident after seeing my marked out levels, the amount of absorption buyers at that key level. Then the dump happens. 932. 932. You got. Where did you short though? You probably just needed to wait. I think we had a go. Did we have a go here? And I said, like, we need to see this really. And then we got it. And then we had to have 2 bites at it, I think, from what I remember. Did we try here? Well, I think we tried here, and we tried here, and then here. How are we doing on the likes team? It's a calmer chat today, which is good. I always prefer it as a calmer chat. It helps me stay calm. You guys are always calm when we're getting 100-point winners together. I can give those easier if I'm also calm. All right, we're not quite there. So what do we say? 1,000. Once we get to 1,000 likes, we'll do one giveaway. Once we get to 1,200 likes, we do another giveaway. We get to 1,500 likes, we do another giveaway. Okay. Let's just get those likes up. Today, I believe, is the last day of the Apex sale. All right, code FCT. It's the last day you can get Apex sale for 90% off. They haven't told me about any extensions, so just to make you aware of that. You've also got some time left for 40% on Lucid. Starting to see it base out here, but I still think you would like to see a wash here, but we'll see. You did wick the lows, but I still would like to see this come and take Globex, but you know, we'll see. There's no shift in momentum. This still looks very downside pressure. Look at these strong sellers coming in here. Tapes heavy, 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 heavy. They're trying to get down to Globex, to that options level. And, you know, I would not just bid on that, folks, right? If you're trying to catch a knife, you don't know if it doesn't just absolutely come and wreck down into previous day lows, which is like here. Right, let's just pull this down a little bit right here. Right, this is the edge. Right, there's no volume under this, right, to make you aware. All the way down to, where was the breakout? All the way down to here, there's zero volume. These are all single prints. So don't catch the knife. Let it come and like stop everyone out and turn around. Let it do the hard work for you, so it takes the guesswork out of it. I'll just be staying in the cell. We don't trade with Top Step here, my friend. How do I know there's no volume there? Because there's no volume there, my friend. If we come, I'm going to have to move you. Where's my hourly? All right, if we're looking at the developing week, all right, there's zero volume. See this? All right, so we built volume. Here's the ceasefire. No volume. See this? Single prints. There's literally no volume. Nothing. It's why we're holding this edge of range. It's why I'm telling you be very careful into this level. All right, if we start defending this level, if we break away from this level and defend it, then all the buyers here will be sell side pressure and we can look for that. But until that point, right, there'll be lots of people trying to sell the lows. And if they sell the lows and we recover it, we'll just be the look below and fail and back into range. Okay, so this area here becomes very, very key. Just going to turn my aircon off, be right back. I'm starting to drip with sweat now. Can I show you footprint? Yeah. This one? Or you want the trading view one? We have something like this in the works for Flowzone at the moment. Testing it out at the moment. We have something coming. SPY finding a bid at those 74s. Remember, 75 is a huge level for the spiders. We came very, very close to this level. Same on the Qs. We came very, 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 very close to it. Right, you're starting to see them hold the initial balance. The auction at the low, it's not the worst, but it's definitely not the best. But you're starting to see them try and turn now. So value becomes important here. Becomes really important here. ES back to VWAP. I don't think this is ready yet, but we'll see. I mean, ES is going to make it very difficult if they just turn the boosters on. Maybe some of you took the IB long after we swept underneath, but I would have liked to have seen them tag this. It's kind of gross that they didn't come and tag this. So I'd still like to see this here if I was going to think about the long, and we haven't seen that yet. And there's the rejection of value again. No trade for me yet. If I was looking for upside, nothing yet. Mikey, when did you purchase it? Just send me an email, buddy. It should all be in there, but if you just send me an email, if you open the course, it would tell you. But if you send me an email to info@flowzonetrader, I'll get you set up with everything, bud. No worries, man. No worries. Sorry if you've emailed me and I haven't seen it. Sometimes they go to spam, so I'll check now. There's a lot that goes to spam now because I get emails from every new prop firm and every new person wanting to run my YouTube. Like, it's just, I have to put it all into spam. It's too much amount of businesses pitching every day. Which course to learn order flow? It's a volume profile and order flow course on my website, flowzonetrader.com. The link's pinned up the top if you just click on it. Currently, the course is only in English. Yes, currently. Yes, that's a good idea. We will do the announcement from Twitter, and I'll set a new one as well. Yes. Yes. How are we doing on the likes? Still not there, folks. Come on, folks. At least half of you have not smashed that like button. I'd love to do some giveaways today. So if you can just get the likes up, we can give lots of stuff away today. Am I waiting for a sell or a buy right now? I'm not really willing to sell down here. I've been selling it all morning. But we are rejecting previous day's value. It hasn't done what I'd like to see for the buy, personally. I would like to see us leave better excess at these lows. But we have left some down here under 65s. But I'd like to see this if I'm going to buy it, but it doesn't look like it's going to give it to me. Looks like it just wants to come right back up to VWAP already. And lots of buyers keep coming in top side of these candles, though, I'm going to tell you. I'd be very cautious of this. For me, it's not ready to be bought yet. I'm just going to sit out of it. It can go if it wants to squeeze back to VWAP, we can do it without me. I've not seen what I'd like to see for the trade. The IB to VWAP trade, yeah, lots of you I'm sure are in it. For me, I've not seen what I'd want to see for it, but for you guys, maybe it's enough, which is fine. Which is fine. We can see sell side did get trapped down there. We just didn't see that much absorption. There are some singles down here, which is a good sign. But we're right at where these buyers keep getting stuck. And you can see every pop, these buyers keep getting caught top side of this over value area low. So they keep getting passively sold into. I don't think we've got enough excess yet for me personally. But again, it's just how I trade. And I'm trying to be conscious that in my review recently, I've been too, because I hate trading ranges, I've been too jumping in too early, I think, too many times looking for the sort of mean reversion trade where I can afford to just let it develop longer. Being a little bit extra patient would be good, I think. how to create what chart? The order flow chart. In Discord, there's my presets are there if you're in the Discord. But I'm launching something very similar to it soon with a member of the community. Been working on it tirelessly. Okay, they're holding previous day value area low. They are going to try and squeeze to VWAP at the moment. Again, there's lots of passive selling here into this whole number of 25,000. But 2520s looks good for the break. If it can break 25,000. Again, ES is at the 24-hour VWAP. It will try and get up to the New York VWAP. And here goes. It's going to go for the squeeze now. They're trying to get up to that 25,020s. Right, so the Tyson trade. Oh, I don't like that excess at the low, but there we go. There we go. So they're almost there. I'd say, yeah, 20s to 30s gets pretty thick. So you want to be taking profits on that drive up. Like where I've got this red line, right? This is where I was originally, remember. You have to think about this now. They can be really dirty with it because we don't have excess. Right? They could do an internal sweep and they can come back for it later. Right? If they reclaim this, it's very bullish. This block here is important. So in fact, let's just change this so that you guys understand the sentiment. This block here is important. So I've missed the long, so I'd rather look for the sell now if possible because I don't like the lows. I don't think there's enough at the lows yet, so we'll see. We will see. We did just sweep internals. I'd like it to come higher first. I'd like it to come and visit this grey box and these VWAPs and then see how we act up there. Again, ES is going to make it really hard. Here comes ES into the New York VWAP and New York Open. So ES is basically right at the New York Open already. Clean that out. So I'm going to look to see if we trap buyers here to sell. And you guys who are long here, you want to be selling something today. And if I'm wrong, you'll get the squeeze all the way out, which is fine. But I'll see if we can pop up a little bit more and trap some buyers. And my short now, if we trap buyers, if I see something like this, all right, I will respect these levels here. If we can pop up here and fail, I will sell and I'll be covering into these levels and then this and then holding runners. We've got to get up a bit higher than this. All these passive sellers at 20s to 25s, I need to see it lift through them first and then see how we act. What volume do I pay most attention to? Previous week, previous day. All of it matters, but that's what I'm paying most attention to if I'm day trading. Here we go, is the lift towards. So if you took the Tyson trade, it's coming up for you. You want to be paying yourself into this grey box, okay, into the grey box. ES coming into that New York Open and VWAP. You never know. They might be able to send a mega squeeze here for you guys, but we'll see. I'm looking for buyers to get caught up here. I need one more expansive move higher, which we have not seen yet. One more big squeeze out, and then I want to see passive people turn up. So some buyers getting a little caught there into 17s. They're trying to reload the bid here and clean out all these sellers up to 20 to 30. It's what they're trying to do for you. Okay, here we go. So 17 is now caught. Still want to see this lift to up towards 25 to 30s because of what's on the book. But we're coming into the key levels. $25,000 whole number. There was a trap seller there. Still not in yet. Still looking for one more lift up. Sellers starting to move down. I'd like to see them cleared out still. Excess is good, but I'd like to see us come and tap the VWAPs and clear it out. Just got to be careful with ES. Because if we get through the New York Open and New York VWAP on ES and base above, this could turn very bullish very, very quick because it's... I have to just keep telling myself we're in a range rotation, Alex. We're inside day. We're inside initial balance. We're now inside previous day value. They might want to rotate back, all right? Because we did talk about this at the beginning of the day. So I need to be careful here. If I'm wrong, I've just got to eat it quick because if we go squeeze and range rotation, I will be the wrong side of it. So trying to trade a trend setup in a range rotation, I'm almost telling myself, talking myself out of it at the moment. Like, do you really want to be doing that, mate? Do you really want to be doing that? Do you really want to be doing that? I don't know. H1, that's a good move. We'll see. Might be a bad trade. Might be a poor setup, that, trying to trade trend in a rotation. Right, well, this is the level, so it's here. Nothing's on yet. There's the rejection of it. ES poked above as well. Amazon approaching 3% up. Same with Meta. Up towards VPOT. These are the big levels. If you get above this grey box and base, you can squeeze back towards high of day. So still nothing for me yet. I'm almost talking myself out of this trade now because I'm thinking, why are you trying to play the midpoint of a range in a ranging market? We'll see. And there's lots of liquidity still higher. Yeah, still drifting higher. Your longs look good here. So you should be TP a lot of it out here. And you just see if you can lift higher here. Good. Buyers now, first time I've seen buyers caught up there on that drift above 25s. So it's the first time I've seen them caught. There's still liquidity high, but it is the first time I've seen them caught on this drive. Big 100-lot seller come in here. Don't like seeing that. We'll see. Yeah, what is he doing? What is he doing? That might help you guys. ES right at that New York VWAP, New York Open. Big, 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 big level here, folks. Still liquidity higher if they want it. Buyers did get caught on the last drive. This drive up did catch some buyers, but you get above this grey box, you'll see expansion, I think. If you can get above a base, that is. This is going to topside. Yeah, I don't disagree with you. It could very well do that. How we act in the next couple of minutes becomes important. What's the time? We've got new hourly candle coming up as well. Starting to see some buyers get caught up here, though. It just depends if they can rebid. I'm most concerned about ES more than anything else if I was going to be thinking about the short. If they base up here, it's very dangerous for this squeeze, right? If they base up here. Oh, let me draw it out. If they base up here, this looks very dangerous for this move after coming under value and liquidating IB. So it's possible. And we are in a range, like I keep saying, we are in a range. All right, and we could possibly rotate. I want to see if we can do that. But I'm going to have to really see buyers get caught to enter there. Because otherwise we can squeeze right back up like I've talked about. ES looks very, very willing to try and get up to topside. And remember, ES hasn't closed its gap from this morning. Must remember that. It has not closed its gap from this morning. So 40s. And then we're kind of thin, man. We are kind of thin above this, above sort of 47.50s. There's some stops. We're pretty thin above that. Oh. ES looks very good. Looks very good. If the next pullback on ES holds that New York VWAP, New York Open, you look very good. Right. While this sort of figures itself out, I'm just going to use the bathroom quickly. How are we doing for the likes? You're almost there, folks. I'll tell you what, can you just... I'll just do it. Give me a second. While I go to the bathroom. All right, just type FCT once in chat. Please do not spam. Please, please, please do not spam. All right, just type it once. If you type it more than once, you just get pulled out. All right, just do it once, and I'm just going to use the bathroom. When I come back, we'll pull a winner. Right, yes, still holding. You guys a minute more. This looks more and more like it wants to shove. Last pullback that held when I went to bathroom held VWAP, but we'll see. Big buyer coming up there now at 39s. You've got a buyer stuck at 39s. Seller now coming in at 30s. It's a big battle here. This is a huge zone. This is a huge zone. I'm watching this now. It's perked my interest because of how many orders have just come in here. So they're all bidding down at 20. So this is a look above and fail. Here's VWAP. They're all bidding at 20. If we move under 20, it will perk my interest. All right, let me do this giveaway. All right. Put in the winner for a free Apex account. Remember, if you don't use guys and you want to support the stream, just use code FCT. It will get you 90% off. The winner is Jacob Bluer 9549. Jacob Bluer 9549. Let me know you're here, Jacob. Oh shit, I missed that. Did we sweep? No. Did this one sweep? No. I'm going to wait a little bit longer for this to develop. Jacob, are you here? Let me know you're here in chat. How's it rigged? It literally, for those of you who are new, it literally pulls it randomly. It's not rigged. It's not even, I've got nothing to do with it. Nightbot does it all. Jacob, you need to let me know you're here in chat, otherwise we'll re-roll. Jacob, you got 30 seconds longer, my friend, and then I'm just going to re-roll it. Jacob Bluer, 9549. 15 seconds left. Okay, re-rolling. Winner is Scar, JL6XU. Are you here, Scar? Scar, JI6XU. Nice. All right, congratulations, Scar. All you got to do, email me, please, info@flowzonetrader.com. Send me a screenshot of you logged into your YouTube. I will sort you out with a free Apex account. All right, so info@flowzonetrader.com. All right, folks, you know the deal. Next free giveaway is at 1,200. Next one after that, 1,500. Okay, we're basing out here. Still no trade, no new trade position for me yet. Basing out here. Midpoint of the range. I'm becoming less interested. I'm talking myself out of this trade because I'm just like, why are you trying to fade this like a short setup if we're in a range? All right, so I'm trying to say to myself, hey, Alex, you're probably going to get caught here trying to fade that back down. It might be that it retests this. A lot of big selling coming in, huge selling coming in here, and they're not moving it lower, right? We've just seen huge sellers just step onto the tape here and not move it lower. That's telling me there's a buyer trying to absorb above this grey box right now. We can see it on Bookmap. You can see it on Footprint. Look at this, all in the last minute. All these guys just came flying in, market order sells, and we're not moving lower yet. So we'd need to move under their price of where they've just come in, under VWAP, under VPOC, under all of this. All right, maybe then there's a trade, but even then, do I think we could have more excess? I do, but I just need to be careful if I'm going to think about, because that's really a continuation trade, not a rage trade. Am I in a long? No, I didn't. I would have liked to have been in the long, but I did not. At these lows, all right, I did not see what I wanted to see. All right. Maybe I'm too fussy, but it looks better on here than it does on my other footprint. That actually looks good on here. That actually looks really good on here, which is not... that might be a missed opportunity from me. That delta flip might be a missed opportunity from me. That looks better on here. That flip actually looks good. Look at this. Big delta, flips to big positive delta, moves away, leaves these sellers trapped. It's actually better than I thought. Might just be a missed opportunity there. But can't get them all. I thought we'd come into this, but anyway. There we go. Proof that I can get it wrong. Looks better when I've had a second look at it. Big buyers coming in here trying to absorb the tape. Right, this is a big, big, big level for sentiment now. Well, if you look at the last 2 hour candles, I'm not sure who said that. If you look at the 9 a.m. candle and the 10 a.m. candle, they're literally like flipped on the head, aren't they? 9 a.m. big wick high, 10 a.m. big wick low, and we're right back. Again, I always say like God mode for me is the hourly chart. We're right back into this condensed range, right? We're right back into here. It's why I'm talking myself out of trading right now, because we know the best trades are going to happen at the edges, right? So we're trying to fade this morning down to here. You'll bid back up. Unfortunately, we didn't sweep, but we've bid back up, back into the point of control. It's point of control from the current week. It's point of control from the current day. All right, this is deemed fair value, current week and current day. The best trades are look belows and fails, look above and fails, or look below and reject for the wash, or look above and hold for the drive. I don't really want to trade here, so I'm like talking myself out of it right now. It doesn't mean it can't come to here or to here. One of these is going to happen probably, but is my location any good? We'll see. We'll just see. I'm just going to have to watch the tape a bit more. Don't fiddle in the middle. Do you mean don't diddle in the middle? I don't want to fiddle anything. Who's fiddling the middle? Don't diddle the middle. You're close. The expression was close. Not quite right. There's the start of the wash, right? Up back down to this 100 lot seller who came in at 19s. Yeah, too much Jimmy Savile talk today. Teens talk and Phil talk. Doesn't sound very good, does it? You're gonna get me arrested. don't diddy in the middle. Yeah, quite right. And see, it's market's trying to come and test these 10s. 20s is where the seller came in. That last candle we just saw absorption. Look at the grey box, right to the bottom of the grey box, absorbed right back to the top side. The grey box, we could probably extend it to 40s right now. You can see the node starting to develop. So this is the rotation. We know in these boxes, right, in these high volume nodes, we rotate. Right? We rotate high volume nodes. Rotate. We rotate high volume nodes. If we can get above and hold, we can run all of this very, very quickly. If we get above and fail, we come back to the other side. If we get below and fail, we came on side. If we get below and stay heavy, we can rotate because this is much thinner. So we just want to be very careful trading around here. It's not like we came up and we saw that rejection that I was thinking about. We've done the opposite, which is why we didn't trade it. If you haven't answered the question yet, it was me where I asked for the first time. Hang on. Do you post DC in terms of time? Since I live significantly different time zone, question is how well do you use it in DC? What do you mean DC? I don't know what you mean. If I'm quoting time, I'm quoting New York time, Eastern. I'm not sure what you mean, DC. Discord. Do I post in Discord in terms of time? What do you mean in terms of time? I post in Discord in the morning of what my expectation for the day is, and then in the afternoon, if there's setups, we trade. But here was the first one's always what I'm looking for, right? So pop up, failure, right, down into grey box, which is where we came in this morning, and then probably a bid back off. This is pretty much what we've seen. Pretty much what we've seen, right? And like, so I can show you that was posted at 6 a.m. So that's 9 a.m. because that's Pacific Coast time, if that's what you mean. Because I live in Los Angeles. Oh, if I'm posting in Discord, anytime I refer to time in Discord, I'm referring to New York time because that's what we're judging the market on. Everything I do is based on New York. Volumes based on New York. Time is based on New York because when the most activity takes place. So anytime I'm quoting, that's what I'm quoting. If that's what you're asking, I'm sorry. If I fail to understand that and sound like an idiot, I apologize. What's the time in LA now? It's 8 a.m. Okay, to the bottom side of this grey box. Of course, ES can make this very difficult. And they can still do this invert head and shoulders if they really want. I don't like the setup here. I'm going to be honest. I don't like the long and I don't like the short now. I feel very, very iffy about trading in the middle of this range now. Very, very iffy. Smaller day for me today, but we're up some money and that's all that matters. Don't like the long, don't like the short. That's exactly how I feel right now. We haven't cleared this out and seen this, and we've built liquidity down here. So the short really, it's going to be really hard because if you take this short here, what's your RR? You've got to risk this. So you've probably got to risk 40s, selling the let's say 15s, 14s, and your TP1 is basically going to be 25,000. So it's like the RR is not there. It's there if we drift all the way, but it's not there otherwise. And the momentum, we've shifted. And we're in a range. We're going to be bidding or selling the midpoint of the range. I'm just going to avoid it. Look, everything's suddenly become stacked. Current week point of control, current day point of control, New York view up, 24-hour view up, flow zone momentum, and flow zone deep pullback and gamma. Everything just very compact in here. So for me, I'm going to leave it alone because I will be breaking my rules if I trade there. And I'm really happy that I've said to myself, don't do it. Been trading for a year, almost got my third payout as of today. Thank you, Alex, for the free education. You're welcome, Wealth Page 2. Good work. Latency to the exchange, fine. It's quick. It's not as good as being in Chicago, but it's very quick. You can see, look at these pops. Buyers coming in, instantly sold back down. Yeah, I'm just going to leave this alone for a while. Not worth touching here. Like I said, there is so much activity here. Look at these, like there's so much activity here. Big size coming in both sides of the tape. And I don't want to compete with these guys, all right? Remember, I'm a little fish. I'm like Nemo in the sea. These guys are, giant killers, great whites and big humpback whales and stuff. I don't want to get in their way. Just let them make their decision, and then we're slotting behind them once they've made their decision. Bruce. Was Bruce the name of the shark? I'm trying to remember that. Sounds familiar. Alex, is the activation fee in Apex, which only gets paid if you pass? Yeah, there is. It depends on the size of the account. It's normally between 100 and 130, I think. Today, you can only really see them bidding up. Really? I mean, we sold off the pop. Just zoom out. Nothing's changed. Literally nothing's changed. Just zoom out. I mean, ES is literally right where we opened. Nothing's changed. We popped the morning, sold the edge of value, came down to the other side of the edge of value, and we're back to the middle point. Like we're in a range rotation. We're in a very typical inside bar. Very, very typical. You can see I'm losing interest. Those of you who are long off IB, I mean, if you're in runners here, you might as well just hold it and see if you can pop up to the other side. Because you have successfully, unlike me, you've successfully bid the edge of range, right? And you've probably paid yourself some, and you can see if this wants to break to the upside on your runners. I'm not going to enter a new position in the midpoint of a range. It looks good. Like ES, remember, ES has still got to get to close its gap. It has not closed its gap. So we left low-hanging fruit of the high of day. And all these sellers that came in here, they might be about to get run out. Now, I'd say their stops are probably at 56s. And if you pop that, you can go value area high. There you go. So hopefully you guys might be good. And I am very happy with myself for reminding myself not to play a continuation trade short in a range rotation. That is probably the best trade I took today, was deciding not to trade this. That's probably the best trade I've made today, because I would have given a fucking chunk back. Really good. Glad I did not do that, because it was tempting and then just didn't see it. Really good. This is great for you guys now who are long off the lows. And this is the inverted head and shoulders that we talked about. And they've used this liquidity. And I would be paying myself some here and then see if you can get to the top side. So high volume nodes next level. All right, so 80s and then 114s top side of it. So you guys who are long from down here or here, you look good. So you should have paid yourself. Pay yourself, and then you never know. You never know. Trump asks Israel to reduce the bombing to aid successful Iran negotiations. Well, you can't reduce it. You have to stop it, mate. I don't know how that's going to work for him. I hope it works for him, because it needs to stop, man. For me personally, I haven't really talked about it here. I find it deeply concerning with friends and family. Obviously, I'm part Lebanese, so like I've talked about, I have friends over there, and it's not nice. One of them I haven't been able to get hold of for 10 days, which is very worrying. Okay, here you go. ES is going for that gap fill like we talked about at the beginning of the day. So you guys look good. So here's your TP2 into this high volume node of 80. And ES is going for that gap fill now. Have I ever tried prop firms? Yep. How long did it take to pass? Depends on the prop firm. Normally, I'm very aggressive with them nowadays. I normally pass them in 1 to 3 days. You knew I was Lebanese. Yeah. Okay. So stops are up here now. So you should have paid yourself. You might get a full IB rotation here. And a squeeze over IB, you're looking for 165s. All right, lots and lots of sellers up here at the hundreds. ES now finally filled its gap. All right, so that low hanging fruit on ES. And you are now into potentially positive gamma on ES. You're not quite there on NQ. And look at this recovery. Man, I'm jealous of you guys. I'm jealous of you guys. This will go in the diary today. Me thinking there wasn't enough excess there, and there was. That will go in the diary today of a miss. Only human. So that'll be all off. Well, not all off. It's a technical setup, but that news will help drive it, because if they can calm down. Remember, overnight there were talks that Israel obviously has been bombing Lebanon, and they got called out for it. And America said, as I said yesterday, my understanding was it was not part of the deal, which America and JD Vance said was true. And then India came out this morning saying it absolutely was. And then Trump's just come out now saying that Israel needs to stop doing it. How do I know sign language? My wife signs, so I've been like learning little bits of ASL. I'm not very good. Like, she's very good. I'm not very good. I can do the bare minimum, but I think it's a great skill to have. How's the under seat? Really good. Best purchase I made. So comfortable. Really, really good. Well, she already knows it. She just teaches me little bits. I can do the very basics. That helps when I'm on stream, so I don't disturb you guys. Market's looking for an excuse to buy. Yeah, it is. But you know, just remember the higher time frame. All right, we're not out of anything yet. Like, if I just remove you, we're still in the range, right? So just always go back to higher time frame. Right? All we are is in this range. Now, could this be compression to move higher? Could this move be compression to go higher? Yes, but we're still within this, right? We're still within the current week. Look at this node. We're not above this, right? So we can just rotate and rotate and rotate and rotate until they find this move here or a look above and fail. All right. And if we move to the daily, just remember we're still an inside bar on the daily, right? And we are into a there's your inside bar, and we're here. We're into a very, very, very thick area. All right. If you want to think about this, we're trading into the start of what, probably like 5+ months of rotation. All right. So here's the main value areas. All right. We're trying to see if we can come back inside some of these. All right. And you can see this is where we broke down from. We can still reject here until we get through this, pull back and hold. All right. I'm not uber bullish. All right, I'm not uber bullish. If we got through all this and pulled back and held the edge, right, that's a really positive sign of a look below and fail. But I'm not convinced of that yet. I'm happy to be convinced of that, but I need to let it develop, because at the moment we can come right into this and sell right back down, and then they're going to have to make a decision here of whether they have another go or let this whole thing go. So we are on an edge right now. And also remember, on the daily, right, we're coming right back up to this upper bowl. All right, so we've done lower bowl, mean reversion, upper bowl. We're right at the 200-day and 50-day. And like I said, when we have moves like this, it's only happened 3 times in history. Normally, after moves like this, we've seen a 10% downside slide. It doesn't mean we repeat it. Everyone will tell you it means it. But it's just worth being aware of that. If we're coming back into an area where buyers have been stuck, we have lots of news. I'll remind you, the news this morning was not good for the market. It was not a good look. I'm not talking about the Trump news. I'm talking about, you know, there is, believe it or not, other economic news going on. It's just we've all forgotten it for a minute. So there's lots to consider right now. Okay, here comes your upside squeeze. Oh my God, I'm very jealous of you guys. I'm very, very happy. I told myself no short there though. So up to the top side, you should run these stops. There's lots of guys up here. And I'll be watching now to see if ES holds the bid. All right, does ES hold the bid? Basically over IB and over gap fill. So any bid that happens over 21s, 22s even on ES looks good. Remember, divergence at the high. We had divergence at the low. You have divergence at the high. Not in anything here. Very happy for you guys who made the money on this. Very, very happy for you guys. Like I said, my best trade of the day is reminding myself that we're in a rotation and I should not be trying to short the middle. You see, once that news came, think about, this is how we use them. Obviously, I didn't take it, but a good one to review. All these big sellers that came in here, thinking about the same thing I was thinking about, but not respecting that we're in a range rotation. Once the news came in, think about how many of these sellers had to stop out. If they stop out, they become market buyers, and there's the squeeze up. All right, so it's really, there are a few free videos on my YouTube where I talk about this, understanding the type of day. We don't want to trade trend continuation trades, all right? We don't want to trade these really in range rotations. That's where it's easy to go wrong. It's really easy to go wrong. What you want to be doing in range rotations is limiting yourself to shorts from here and longs from here and maybe shorts from here, all right? And then the bid above and hold could be a new long, and the sell below and hold could be a new short. But you want to limit yourself to the edges and try and ignore this. I know that worked really nice on that head and shoulders, but I would only take that if I had a core position down here and that was an ad. For me, that's how I would trade it. Okay, here's the pullback into PDC on ES. It's just done it and absorbed. So I didn't quite get to IB yet, but it's holding PDC. Can we go after bad data tomorrow, 24,800? 24,800. Yeah, yeah. I mean, if it comes, sure. I mean, look, it all depends where we open, where we close, and this liquidity today. Again, like we will use, I always talk about this. This is your liquidity build. This will get used one way or another. All right, one way or another, it will get used. All right, it will get used one way or another. It's a matter of time. We cannot do this forever. We can do this for a while because here's the breakout. Here's the thin volume. They are protecting it. Right, this is only our first day inside. You might say yesterday was. It wasn't. Right, this was just a pullback yesterday. This is our first inside bar. So tomorrow, maybe we get a breakout one way or away from it. Very possible. Okay, ES back down to PDC. Remember, PDC and IB key for ES, but it has now taken it out. It's now fulfilled its obligation of filling the gap and becoming efficient. Not today. I mean, I think you'd need a major shift to get down there today. I'm not going to rule it out, but right now we're in a range rotation market. Until we leave a range rotation market, it's hard for me to think about an expansion model. Why do I prefer on Fitprint the delta and not the buy and sell? Because I'm only really interested in who's trapped. I don't need to see the buy and sell. And plus, remember, I'm also looking at Bookmap, so I can see what's coming through on the current order book and the tape all the time. But for me, by using delta, I can just see the big orders and where they are. And the market moves off those big orders. All right, so if we've got people stuck and we abuse them, we move. All right. It's personal though. Like plenty of people use the traditional sort of ladder. Can I review the delta flip you were talking about, the lows? Yeah, I think we did it, didn't we? Here. So I was saying I didn't feel like there was enough sellers caught at the lows, and I was wrong. All right, that's big selling at the lows. This is big selling at the low of day right here. All right, and that's delta selling, which means that's market order selling. We flip from 261 to 408. So from sell side, we trade back above the POC of that candle and we rip it higher. And the pullback holds above that POC of that candle. That is probably the long opportunity here, risking this. And I missed it. I missed it because I didn't think there was enough excess down there. And it's just a miss from me. It's a miss from me. It's as simple as that. It's a miss. It's a miss. Probably convinced myself that we were going to hit that final gamma level. So it is what it is. We can't get them all. I'm not a robot. I wish I was. I wish I was. Do we go back down from here? I mean, you could pull right back into this. I would like to see it pop the highs first. Like, again, this is the rotation. Let's move this up a bit. I would rather, if you're going to trade that downside, a bit like here, how I like to see this, a bit like here, I would rather see that. Momentum, remember, is up. That's your second leg. But you did just come right into the same area where they got caught this morning. Remember, we shorted these this morning. Those were the moves this morning. If you think about it, we're asymmetrical, right? We're short and we're short. And then you could have been long and long, right? You could have had 1, 2, 3, 4 trades today just mirroring each other in that range rotation. I wouldn't have said what anyway. Does TV Delta show you true footprint? Yeah, sometimes there's like, that's what I had today. I think there's a slight divergence to the tick Delta that I had on Ninja, but it's normally pretty good. So filling some of these imbalances, and we might come right down to here where we broke out from, right back to that midpoint again. So just a full rotation. ES still is above its IB, folks. All right, so ES is still above its IB. It's possible they find a bid here on this pullback. It's very, very possible that they find a bid here on this pullback. Because ES, if ES holds the IB and we pull back and fill some of these imbalances and hold, there might be a rotation here like this to test this again. If ES holds the IB, which it's come right into now. So this is the key level on ES. And I'd say we can drift down to 40s to 30s if they really want. We just left sell side imbalance, and then they can come back and attack value area high here on this dip. So if they hold this, we're into these sell side imbalances now, which lift up to 70s. Alex, am I nuts or previous day higher than yours? Previous day high is way up here. Right up here, mate. What are you looking at? This is value area high. Previous day value area high, not previous day high. Previous day value area high. Very different to previous day high. Did I say previous day high? I'm sorry if I said it wrong. Right, ES still trying to hold that initial balance. There's still imbalances here down to 40s here. We're starting to see a buyer trying to absorb the tape here for the first time again on this pullback. So buyers are trying to step in here in NQ. It's possible we come right back to this node, but they're trying to step in here on this pullback, and they will look to retest 80s if possible. ES just held previous day high, I can't talk, initial balance high. God, my words. Got COVID brain. Got COVID brain. Thomas, when I look at previous day value area high, I remind you, I'm not interested in the whole session. I'm only ever looking at New York. All right, so my areas are marked out as New York sessions. You can see we've respected it this morning. Okay, imbalances here, 30s to 40s. See if they fill them and see if they find a bid. Yes, right into its IB. If they don't hold this, then they can rotate right the way back down, like we always talk about, one side to the other. But yes, into its IB here. What was I hoping for? I would have liked, again, a little clean out of the high first. And I want to be careful because of what ES is doing. So we're holding these first lot of imbalances here. I'll show you. We're trading back into these imbalances here where these sellers got stuck. So I'd imagine buyers will want to keep these sellers stuck and lift it back up. Here we go, up towards the 80s. So looking here, see if we respond here for that upside. Sellers stacked here, 67, 70s to 80s. See if we can squeeze a bit higher here. So I've got a small piece on long because ES just held its IB as well. I'm not going to give this much wiggle room. I want to see if we can come and retest the 80s and then create a new high if we get through it. Here we go. This was the pullback I just talked about. Really good from ES, great hold of IB. Pay myself a little bit into these sell side imbalances here into 70 just in case, and we'll hold on and see if we can get higher. And I move my stop up. And that last absorption took place at 48. So I'm going to risk 56s here because it's just where an imbalance is. It's my break-even point as well. Looks good. It's a really good hold of another imbalance. We're holding really well here. See if we can get up to 80s and 84s. Looks good. Just want to rip through this sell side imbalance and move higher. Really good. Come on. Come on, give me 80s. Get some more out if we can lift a bit higher. They're all stacked up here, these sellers, 72s to 80s. ES looks great. Want that flag to break on ES. 5-minute breakout would be great. What's my plan now? Well, I think I've said it about 5 times. Here we go. Beautiful. Let's go, baby. There's the 80s. Pay myself some there, and we'll see if we get a high day break. Oh! Oh! Let's fucking go. Woo! Ha ha ha! That IB hold on ES was beautiful. All right, stop moving right up. I've got to cover some, pay myself some more here. Beautiful. All right, so really nice. Like we talked about, pullback, defending the level where those sellers were caught into the imbalances. I showed you those imbalances and we held it as ES held. All right, this key for me was that ES was holding the IB high. All right, the purple line, there you go. ES was holding the IB high and it's coming up for previous day high. That will be the ES target. I've got fuck all left now. Tiny little micro because we did that very, very quick. Boom! All right, buyers getting caught topside there into 50s. So buyers now caught at 40s and 50s. I'm now out of that and take it off because there's a big seller coming in here. That'll do. 1,000 across 2 TPT accounts. I'm done for the day. I appreciate your insight as always. Have a drink on me. Thank you, Alex. Hey, Chris, very kind of you. $20 tip there. Thanks, guys. What a beautiful trade. All right, beautiful trade. Why was I more confident in that? Okay, I'll give you the reasons why I didn't like the short up here, because we didn't sweep this. Okay, this was a pullback like we talked about. We now knew here that all the sellers were caught. Remember, I kept saying the sellers are caught. We might fill these imbalances. There's the sellers that are caught. We pull back. We hold the imbalance. If we just want to think about even a fib on this, all right, you can see all these buyers getting caught up at the top side, which is why I'm now out of it. Even a fib on this for the pullback was very good. All right, if we think about, and I don't even draw these, but I can see them with my own eyes. 61% pullback into the imbalance, hold it, drive, TP into these levels, and then we're done with it. So I was TP into 80, into higher day, and then I'm out of it altogether now. It might well, if they can base over previous day high, look, they have reasons to come higher, but I'm done with it. That was perfect into lunch. If they base over this, they've got a reason now to come up here, because if Israel's saying, hey, we're going to negotiate, we'll come to the table. That's great. Oh, so kind. Scar6MT, hope you feel better. Legend, as always, appreciate you every day. $50 tip. Look at that. That's my lunch for the day. Appreciate you. Thanks so much, team. Thanks so much. How are we doing on the likes? Is it time for a giveaway yet? Oh, we have. I didn't even see that. Okay. Do you guys want my Funded Futures account or an Apex account for the next giveaway? You guys let me know, and then we'll set it up. What would you prefer? My Funded Futures. I tell you what. We'll pull the. We'll do the giveaway, and the winner can decide what they want. Okay. So you type FCT into chat now. Just type it once, and then whoever wins, you can choose. I'll leave it up to you guys to choose what you want. All right. So if you're still in this, You'd want to hold IB now. You'd be looking for the expansion mode in this, but I'd say there's a 200 lot buyer here, and you need to stay above him at 24. Here they go. So if you're still in this, you might well get an absolute rinse up here. If they reload this and hold, you could get a rinse up. I'd watch previous day high on the ES. You're already through it on the SPY. You're not there yet on the Qs. Not on the ETF, not on the NQ. Again, I'm done with it, guys. I've made my money for the day. While you guys do that, I'm just going to put a bit more milk in this because it's a bit strong. I'm going to be right back. All right. All right, give you guys 5 more seconds. Thanks, guys. It's been way more fun today. Chat's been calmer. We've been able to focus on the trades. They're going to rebalance this. Be very, very careful. That's why we take profits on overextended moves, especially when we're day trading. Different when we're swing trading, but when day trading, got to be careful. All right. Pulling this winner for you guys. Winner is Mike Tiger 2030. Mike Tiger 2030. Are you here, Mike Tiger 2030? Still think it wants more upside. I think this is a pullback which probably gets absorbed for one more push, but you've got to be careful because like we talked about, there's that 200 lot buyer now caught at 124. So you would need to see it, and there's lots of imbalances downside, but we'll see. Mike Tiger 2030. Are you here? Mike Tiger 2030. Let me know you're here in chat. Otherwise, we're going to re-roll. I would say best trade of the day was the no trade. That was the best trade of the day, followed by the pullback. All right, best trade of the day was to ignore this, let them get trapped, and then trade that for the next move up, because that made sense at that point, because we held that pivot. And again, what did I do right, which I've done wrong recently? I respected the momentum, all right? Respected the type of day we're in, respected the momentum rather than trying to trade against it. Yeah, Mike. Okay. Mike, do you want a My Funded Futures account or would you like an Apex account? It was a news candle, yeah, but it didn't matter. It was technically, it was set up because the sellers were caught here. It was a reason to long there. The news candle helped, but the sellers were caught here. That's all that mattered. Okay, Mike, just let me know. My Funded Futures, MFF or Apex? Just type it in chat so I know which one you want. He's here. He's here. I'm talking to him. Yeah, I think we've got unfinished business high. Honestly, this and this become possible now. And the H1 high from yesterday, that double H1 high is at 58. So we're almost there. They've got a triple top here. There's no way they don't take that out. They will run these stops. There's no way. Apex, please. Yeah, no worries, mate. I will sort you out with an Apex account. So all I need you to do is just email me info@flowzonetrader.com. Send me a screenshot of you logged in, and I will sort you out with an Apex account. All right, we've got 20 minutes left here, folks. And if we get another 300 likes, we can do another winner. It'll be up to you guys. We can do a My Funded Futures account or a free course for the next winner if we get up to 1,500 likes. If not, we'll just roll it over to tomorrow. Setting up here for a resqueeze in my mind. They are trying to set up. I'll show you, like, in my mind, they're trying to take out these H1 pivots now. Like I said, it's still very bullish. They're trying to take out these. All right. We're now above this. Remember that pullback's just held this level. All right. So we're now above this and we're into thin volume and they're trying to run these stops. That's what they're attempting to do. Whether they can do it or not, different, but that's what they're attempting to do. Nice day today. Much for someone who hates range trading, that was a better day for me. I'm trying to just, I had to like have a little word with myself yesterday and go over a few trades, and it's like, Alex, you might be forcing it a bit here every now and again. Too bad they have to do all the news on the news candles. I know. Well, it's annoying, but you know, some of you probably read it. This is why it's important to be able to trade yourself. Like some of you, I'm sure. How many of you, tell me, how many of you got long down here or here in this area for that Tyson trade back in, right? Because if you did that, you're better than me, right? You traded it better than me. You traded a clean setup better than me. Look, lots of you in here. So this is why it's important that you know the trade. Like, even if you don't break of trend, take it for the mean reversion. Like there's lots of reasons there to get long where I've waited for some exact thing, haven't seen it. It's actually happened, I haven't seen it, and it's gone. But you guys, all right, because you turn up each day or you do the course or you learn with someone else and you know what you're trying to do, you got the trade. There's trade 1 and you can hold the runners, 2, and then maybe up there if you get lucky. But this is the big level. Yeah, it's really good. Like I'm happy, like buzzing with you guys that got it, because that's all that matters, right? There's enough room for everyone to make money no matter how they trade. I still think this wants more upside, guys. It wants to run out the H1 stops and ES wants to run out previous day high. I'm just done with it because I made my money on that drive up. I kept saying no way. Yeah, for me, like I said, for me, it was no way. I got it wrong. I'm trying to tell you, I got that wrong, Nick. I got that wrong. I didn't think there was excess down there. I've said it. I've gone over it a few times. I am human. I'm allowed to make mistakes down there, you know. Like, I ignored the trade. I didn't lose on it. I just didn't get the winner. But I did get this, this, and this. Am I here every day? Yeah, Monday to Friday, mate. 9:15 New York time, all the way into lunch. You can see all the orders stacked above that they want to fill. They just want to keep absorbing the tape and try and get up and take the H1 highs. It just depends whether they need to, like, you know, consolidate a bit first. Yeah, like guys, I'm not going to get it right every day. Like anyone who says they get it right every day is just a liar. You will make mistakes. Like it's just part of it. So selling coming in here, aggressive, being absorbed into 25s. Tape's getting heavy and they're absorbing it. They're trying to run this lower now. They're getting very heavy on this tape, absorbing it again into 20s. So jostle here. You're still, I'll remind you, you're above initial balance high. ES has a target above, as does the Qs. But I'm not going to re-long up here now. I've made my money and we're only 15 minutes into lunch. But it feels like it wants to go higher to me. Would I go for a short at 25,163? No. Well, you're in front of the H1 for a start. And you've got to think, if they pop 60s, right? If they pop 60s, there's a chance that they lift to 87s because of the nodes on the current week. And then there's a chance they can get up to 250s. So I wouldn't be shorting on a pop-up here at this point. Because if we're doing that, we're above IB. All right, if we run these H1s, it can keep squeezing. All right, this is the squeeze level. Look at this squeeze level. I'm not saying it does it, but you don't want to be front running that. You would need to see, right? For me, you would need to see something. It doesn't need to come up this high, but something ideally like this. All right, and then your short would only just be down into value if you took that. But at the moment, it's very long biased currently. Is it diverging from CL? Let me check. I haven't looked at CL. No, it's in line with it. No, it's perfectly in line with it. CL's breaking down, and we're breaking out. All right, so great shove this morning when we were short. This is probably the Israel news, all right, because if they negotiate, CL comes back down. There's no divergence. It's in line with it. Looks good. So many shorts trapped at 25, 110. 110. Yeah, like under, I'd say at 103. 103 and under for me. Some at 26s, but you've got both sides of the tape at 26s. Look, I'd be watching. You've got to stay above this buyer, right? So I'd say under here, under 106 and 103. This drift here caught the shorts as it did under here. You want to stay above this buyer, this 200 lot. You want to stay above him and finish the squeeze out, and you want to take out those H1 wicks that we talked about. All right. So I'd be looking 59s, right? Basically the 60s. Once you get 60s, you should see a stop run, right? You will probably see stop run, and you want to be paying yourself in this stop run. All right, because it can then return back in. So any move up here, you want to be paying yourself in. Because I do not think they will be able to protect these H1s. It's the third time visiting it. We are likely to pop it. And I'd also watch ES into previous day high. It will time out pretty much the same level. Here they come. So they're trying to get this drive and pop all these stops out. You can see it. They're getting very close to that H1. Remember, it's from lunchtime yesterday. Can you piss off so I can see what's going on here, please? There we go. All right, so popping these stops now. So you want to be paying yourself in this squeeze, which is about to happen. All right, so the stop's now getting popped, and they can return back in if it wants from here, but you want to be paying yourself in these stops. The Tyson trade should be trademarked. Best gift strategy by FCT. I've learned so much more here. Thank you. You're welcome. It's not my strategy, man. I've always traded it. Look, they're going to re-squeeze this. They are shoving this thing up. You just make sure, move your stop up now, pay yourself some money, move your stop up. If you get lucky, they run right the way up here. ES now taking previous day high. So targets have been hit. Congrats to those who held those longs. Like I said, it looked good to complete this move, which it's now done. It's now just depends how high they want to take it, but that you should be pretty much done with it. It's just to see what happens next. Yeah, the Tyson trade. Yeah, I didn't invent that trade, but I've always traded it, but never invented that trade. But we did name it after a student member. Thanks for the great day, Alex. I'm 6 for 7 on trades. If I keep going, I will blow my 50% consistency. I'm out. Have a great day. Back tomorrow. Nice work, Rocks Off. What market is this? This is the NQ. What is the Tyson trade? It's well, there's two trades for it. It's an IB rotation or an IB expansion trade. It's what I missed and others took here. It's this purple line to here and runners to here. All right, that's it. It's this trade from this to this. And the expansion, we can have a look at the expansion upside. It probably works out perfectly. You're almost there already. You are basically there. Hang on, let's just make sure this is accurate. You're there. 82s is the 1.5 expansion. You came a couple points short. All right. Look at that. The 2s is right at value area high from the current week. So 100% expansion will be value area high from the current week. But you hit the 1.5 of the IB. So lots of reasons to sell a lot of your position. Hey, new people, can you just give me your money instead? What? can I say the importance of filling the gap? Yeah, you can. There's a free video on my YouTube called Cash Gaps. You can just go and watch that. But it's how we become efficient. The market doesn't like to leave gaps in the market, especially on the ETFs. So we like to fill gaps, normally within 2 days. Sometimes we have breakaway gaps that we don't fill. It does happen. People don't think they happen. They do. But it's a rarity. You thought the Tyson trade was named after Mike Tyson. So it looks like an uppercut. No, it was named after, well, we named it. Most people would just call it a mean reversion or an IB rotation. We named it after Tyson because I banned him from taking any other trades than that trade. $1.5 was not hit. Yeah, it was like two points away. I think 83s was the 1.5. It's very close. You're welcome, Robert. Nice work. Am I full-time? Yeah, I am full-time. But that's not to say, like I said, it's not to say I don't invest and make money elsewhere. I don't really want to do this forever. The more I prefer, like, the more passive income, the better. The more free time I have, the better. I want to do some more exciting stuff, to be honest. I don't know. If I move to Texas, I want to invest with a couple friends into like a media company to produce like TV shows and some music and stuff like that. That's what I want to do. I don't want to be like too active in it, but I would like to be back in the media game a little bit. And I'd also always wanted to invest in like a little coffee shop wine bar, like a little hole in the wall where you have like a nice DJ at night. And I think Austin would be a cool place to do that. Open up a little spot. Do I need a videographer? I do not. I do not. That's what one of the business partners would be. Holland type cafe. What, a weed shop? I don't think. Can you smoke weed in Austin? I don't know if it's allowed. No, I wouldn't do burgers. I just want to do coffees in the daytime and like wine and beers and cocktails at night, and just like a cool DJ in the corner at night. Just a nice hang, not like a big party, like just a cool hang spot. Weed is illegal in Texas still. Yeah, I thought so. I don't think it would be long, given that they've just got $100 million investment into ibogaine. I don't think it would be long until some of these rules change. No, I'm not coming to Chicago. No chance, mate. No chance. You can tell everyone made money on stream because we've lost like 1,000 members in the last like hour or so. Try the short now. No. Why? It's still squeezing. Why would you want to short against this momentum when it's got upside? It's going to keep squeezing until it's done. It might well come all the way up here. Look, we've just had positive news come out. You've now got a seller caught at 74s. There's no reason to be shorting this. Right, you're still in an upside move. Yes, you're into an interesting level, but look at this upside move. Don't try and fade a market. Like, it's not ready. We've moved out of the rotation. Think about this. We've moved out now of the rotation. Here's previous day value area high, which is also initial balance high. Above this, we're in expansion. So trying to fade this here, you're asking for it. You are asking for it. Do I think once it reaches value area high, it will reverse? We're already over value area high. We're in a print up right now. It's trying to take out these 50s. Is what it's trying to do now. Like I said, you got a seller caught at 74. So if you are a buyer, you would want the print to hold 74. Look at VIX right down to the 20 as well, folks. Right down into 20. Would I short from 250s? Again, guys, I'm worried about some of you guys. Just because it comes into a level doesn't mean there's a trade there, right? You don't short just because 250s is a level. We don't just short here, right? You would need to see a clear out, a move under, it gets stuck, buyers be trapped up here for a mean reversion trade back down. You do not just short into there. Just because it's a level does not mean it stops there. Imagine Alex was stupid and like I was back in the day on small caps and shorted here because I'm like, well, it's resistance, all right? And then he had another go here. I'm going to short IB. And I have another go here. I'm going to short this pop. And I have another go here. I'm going to short this. Well, it's going to have to be a short at 250. Well, no. We're breaking out now above value. If we can come up here and base if it wants. So we don't just short a level, right? We have to wait to see what price does at that level. What does volume do at that level? Who is trapped at that level? How does the auction work at that level? Price means nothing by itself. Nothing. Well, I'll tell you what, this is a very different market to what it was this morning now. Okay, very, very different. Oh, if I just move there. All right. We held gamma. We printed and held VWAPs. We trapped sellers in here. We held that. We're in over IB and now over previous day value. So we're in an expansion mode above value. Remember, this is yesterday's value. We're now above that. Can it come back in? Yeah, but am I going to short here while we're moving up? No, that's not a legit trade. At least for me, that is not a legit trade. I'm not going to fight my flow zones above initial balance when we're driving higher. I'm not going to do it. It goes against my rules. Maybe it's part of your rules. It's certainly not part of mine. You only have footprint on TradingView. Do you think that's enough, or do you think it's essential to buy more order flow tools like Bookmap? It's horses for courses, man. Like when I don't have Bookmap, I feel blind, but it's because I've used it for so many years. There was a gap of over 700 points yesterday to today's open. Is it possible to close it quickly or not? What does quickly mean? At the moment, we're not letting go, are we? So if they want to keep a breakaway gap open, they're going to keep it open. Again, the seller is caught at 74. So all the time you're above that, he's caught. How much size did he have? $307 lot seller at 74s, right? 174, 307 lot seller caught there. All the time you're above him, he's in big pain. I can show you. You can see him. All right, see this on Bookmap? See this guy? Where's 74? Oh, way above him. He's going to get squeezed out. If I move this down, if it will let me move it down, 74s. All right, you see him. Oh, can you just pause for a minute? There, see him there? 307 lot. He's a seller that got caught there. He sold 74s. We are 20 plus points above him. He's getting squeezed out. Can we recenter this? There we go. So hopefully I stopped some of you trying to short before this squeeze. Some of your questions are quite hilarious, guys. Why does my book map look different to yours? Probably because I configured it differently. Come on. Here you go. Here's the squeeze out. And like I said, they might very well come for this now. Exactly, Rox. Exactly. Exactly. That's why you don't short tops. How do you get the Discord? You have to do the 20-hour course, right? The beginner to advanced course. It comes for free with that course. It's a one-time fee, but you get a version of the flow zones and Discord for free with that. The reason for that is I want everyone in there trading the same way. I've been in plenty of rooms before, which are subscriptions or they're free, and they go to shit because everyone starts trading different ways. When am I looking to guys? I'm not looking to short right now. I can't say this enough, guys. We're in a potential breakout here. Please, you guys are like too obsessed with trying to trade one direction. We're in a breakout above previous day value area high. Unless we see a big clear out and a lot of buyers get stuck, and even then it's a mean reversion trade if you take the short. Do not keep trying to look for a trade which is not there right now. Right? The news that's coming is positive data. We're in an H1 sort of flag breakout now. We're coming to the top side of the range. Like maybe they get stuck up here, but maybe not. Maybe they just keep ripping and ripping and ripping. Another big buyer up here. 140 lot buyer now buying 220s. Remember, previous day high is in reach here for this market. It's right here. It's this red and blue line here, 56s. So gamma here, and then we go squeeze potential up to 408s potentially. They've priced in today on the options market if they want to get wild. So if you're in long still, you look really good. I'm a little bit devastated. I got out on that pop now. Just a little bit. Here we go. So previous day high, so that's your next TP, so lock some in if some of you are long in this pullback over IB. And then 410s next. 410s next. I should have just reloaded initial balance. It's hard. Once I've made my daily goal on targets, it's hard to want to trade more. Okay, so 140s is the level where the buyers came in. 140, sorry, 140 lot at 225 is where the buyers came in. Nice, Roland. Thank you very much. Super kind of you. Thank you very much. Missing 500 past your eval. Just don't focus on the amount. All right, focus on the setup in front of you. You must focus on the setup in front of you, not the cash amount that you need to make. I'm going to get out of here in a minute. I'll give it a couple minutes slow down, but you've hit your main TPs now. This is your main TP for the day. Anything above that is a drift. That is your main TP hit for the day. Doesn't mean it can't go higher. I'm just saying, like, you've hit a big level there, folks. Again, the big buyer came in at 25. So under him, you might get a bit of a bigger pullback. But until then, you're probably done. So here's the 25 test. All right. And under him, you might get a little bit more of a wash down to 200, but it's not a lot. The seller came in at 74s. So buyers will want to hold 74s. They will not want that seller let out. Remember that 300 lot seller. 25s is the level where the 140 lot buyer came in. I'm going to give you a reminder. Under them, you're going to move to 200, and then under that, 74s. You would not want it to see it lose 74s if you were a buyer, but you hit the main targets today. You've now hit those main targets, and we can get rid of this now as well. Would I add here if I was long? No, I wouldn't be adding long up here in premium. No, it's got to come back. It's got to come back in. If I was going to look for an add, it needs to come right back into some structure. All right, right back down. Somewhere down here really would be nice. But we're very extended. It can flush back in over lunch if they want. Otherwise, it's a gamma squeeze. But this might flush back in over lunch somewhere into here. But nice moves, really nice moves. Trap buyers, not yet. Like, there's a little bit trapped at 25s. The auction does look good at the high of day, but again, like any short here, right, it's just a little bit of a mean reversion in which you expect buyers to come back in and push higher. All right, so for me, I just wouldn't be trading short here. Yes, you're extended, but you know you can keep being extended. We've seen. Think about what happened Tuesday night, how extended that got off positive data. All right, you'd need to see a push up and fail, and you know you're holding 25s. You're not under 25s yet. So every single buyer in this is still comfortable right now. Look at this. Like sellers just tried to sell under 25, and you're right back over in this 140 lot. Okay, and then under him we test 200, and under him we test this seller at 74s. That's the big level. 74 to 130 is the big level where if we come down there, I'd maybe be interested in a rebid. All right, folks, I'm out of here. Hopefully I kept you guys safe. Hopefully I made you some money. I should have reloaded that initial balance. It's just hard once I've made good money to want to keep trading, but there we go. And we go again tomorrow morning. All right, tomorrow morning we'll go again. Let's close the week out strong. Have a good day tomorrow. Maybe we're going to close this day in breakout. We're running out of higher time frame. I'll leave this with you so you have some levels. All right, we're running out of higher time frame levels to aim for. All right, we're into a very, very thick level. You do not want to be a new money long up here. Okay, remember it was dips today if we were going to play it. Do not want to be a new money long up here. So we have some stops. We have a big gamma level here at 245. All right, and then through then 410s and the top Bollinger Band up here at 370s. And we've got a lot of wicks up here. So that's your max move. Probably today and tomorrow, unless they shift it, all right, would be an expansion up. If we do that, you know, we can think about what happens next week for that pullback in, which will probably come because we're going to get a bit frothy up here as we start to keep coming up. But let's see. But just limit your expectations for too much more upside, all right? Don't be chasing the highs. You will get yourself really hurt. Really, really hurt. Omalabi, the best YouTube teacher, getting my payout from Lucid and Apex. Never regret since I joined and when we just had 100 people. One love, bro. Hey, thanks, Omalabi. Appreciate it. All right. Peace and love, everyone. And see you tomorrow morning. Trade safe. Be kind to each other. All that good stuff. Use hard stops. Don't be chasing it. Don't be guessing it. Play legit setups. I'll see you soon.